Hello, I am Cheese Day, and I am joined by
Lulon. Hi.
And Cindefusic.
Hello, and this is the four-way Darker Side showcase race. We have four incredible Darker Side runners on stage right now. They're finishing getting set up, and yeah.
So in Darker Side, we get to the final kingdom of the game. To accomplish that, we need 500 power moons, which these runners will be getting in about 3 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah, around that mark.
Yeah, and in the game in total, there are 880 moons. So an all moons run is around 7 hours, and this is going to take about 3, which it is that way because we're just going to be going through and getting all the runners are going to be going through and getting all the fastest moons in the game. Because in Odyssey, you have some really fast moons, like literally just you ground pound and a moon pops out of the ground. Or you have some really slow moons, like volleyball. And Darker Side is especially beloved because it's very fast-paced, very movement-oriented, always a lot going on.
Isn't it like 15 seconds per moon now, something like that?
Yeah, it's gone pretty crazy.
There was actually just some recent reroutes too. I think we're going to see in this.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
I know Zach 207 is going to be the one doing the newest routes and like the hardest strats. So if you want to look out for the newest routes, that's who you should probably be watching.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the route differences and how everything.
And it looks like our runners should be just about ready now to start. We have Duckable, Zach 207, Awesome Agron, and Dylan.
Yeah, looking good.
Okay, we can give a countdown then, and we will start on go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck, everyone.
Good luck. Good luck to all the runners.
So every category in this game, or every new game category, is going to be starting off in Cap Kingdom, just across the board, pretty standard stuff. The only thing these runners are going to need specifically here for Darker Side is a checkpoint at the bottom of the Top Hat Tower.
Yeah, so. And I guess some basic movement tech just to get out of the way here. You're going to see all four of the runners buffer a spin pound during this intro cutscene and turn that into a roll. Spin pounds are just the fastest way to get up to maximum speed, and then rolling is the fastest ground speed you'll see. And the runners are rolling by shaking the controller.
Yeah, and we don't quite have Cappy yet, so we're just doing some.
And now we do.
And there we go.
Yeah.
20 seconds in. They don't waste any time.
And you're going to be seeing in this first half here, this first main game portion we call it, you're going to be seeing a lot of post-game setup. So like we said in Cap Kingdom, they're going to be grabbing a checkpoint as soon as they exit the Frog Room. And you'll just see in some other kingdoms they're going to be going out of their way for stuff you might think is slow, but it makes post-game really fast.
Yeah, for sure.
Specifically, we get a lot of the story moves out of the way.
Oh, in the first trick of the run, Hydrophobia, it looks like Zach is the only one to hit it, I believe.
Nice. Yeah, that's a really absurd trick where you spin throw, Cappy gets stuck on the question mark block and just kind of, which is not normal. He's not supposed to do that.
Yeah, you would think it'd be useful in more places in the run, but it's really just useful in Cap here, and that's the only place you're going to see it.
Yeah.
And left side here from all our runners, it looks like, I think Dylan is the only one. Oh, and Dylan and Duckable miss it here. Oh, Dylan having to go all the way around right side. That is not great. Left side is infamous for if you kind of get it, you save a good chunk of time, but if you mess it up, it's very easy to snowball and lose a lot of time from it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've definitely done that very many times. But luckily, this is the first kingdom, and it's kind of, the time you kind of get in this first kingdom isn't really relevant because there's plenty of time throughout the rest of the run.
Right. Yeah, and so the first thing these runners are going to be doing is just going through the main game, which is going to be like about, not exactly the first half, the first like 2/5 of the run, something like that.
Yeah, it's like an hour 25 roughly.
Yeah, and the runners are just going to be setting up. They're going to be getting world peace in every kingdom and
Apart from Wooded.
Oh, true, yeah. And just setting up stuff. And a lot of the fast moons are going to come in post-game. That's when things start to ramp up.
But this is the first really cool trick of the run. I believe at least Zach is going for it. I don't know if anyone else is. And this is Dino Skip Skip. Zach is going to grab this power moon here and then going to be doing a cap through a dive and chaining that into a triple jump off this rock that you see on the right there next to the chain jump. And then he's going to be doing a wall jump on the wall and trying to dive onto a tiny sliver on the wall. And then using that to get up to the Madame Brood fight early and skipping this cutscene that you'll see a bunch of these other runners doing.
Let's
and
go.
Zach getting it first try. Beautiful.
That is textbook.
Still got the rib skip, so it's not over, but that is definitely the easy part. And there you go. Zach into Madame Brutal first here with a comfortable lead over the other runners opting for the more easier route here.
Yeah, and that's going to save about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Which, when you're starting out in Darker, really isn't a lot. But even in these longer categories like that, those time saves really start to add up at a top level.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like at Darker is definitely at the point where you cannot like world record without that trick. And you're seeing Dino Skip from the other runners here, which is the more conventional way of getting up there. It's the easier way. And I guess we should mention Madame Brood here. You're just sticking Cappy out and then back up onto the chomp, kind of sandwiching the chomp between Mario and Cappy to get a fast capture there into an instant fling.
Yeah, we're gonna be seeing a lot of these boss fights in the main game portion, and then post game is gonna be more like pure movement. So yeah, that's pretty much Cascade Kingdom. Just one more moon to get.
And we are going to see chest clip from all four runners here, because in any percent, chest clip only saves like a second. But in this category, it saves a lot more because you don't have to grab that chest moon in post game. So it just makes the movement faster in general. So even if you miss the chest clip itself, it still saves time to grab this moon now. But it looks like Zach is definitely going to get it there, I think. No.
Oh.
I thought that was definitely in the wall. And I guess we should mention chest clip is just a moon clip. You just do a backflip and throw Cappy with precise timing, and you kind of skews Mario into the ceiling during that moon get cutscene there.
Agron also missing it. Let's see how these other two do.
Yeah, we'll see if Dylan can get it here. Dylan getting it. And it looks like Duck might be getting it too. No. So only one chest clip here.
Good backups all around, though.
Yeah, it is very easy to maul on that back up there. That jump up looks easy, but it is very awkward.
Yeah, only going to be getting the required 5 moons in Cascade here. That's just going to be a trend. We're going to be seeing all of these kingdoms come back later in the revisits. So that's how that's going to work.
Yeah, we'll be seeing a lot of fast moons in Cascade and post-game. This is actually one of my favorite kingdoms in post-game. It flows together really nicely.
Definitely.
And there's a lot of really cool sub-areas.
Yeah, absolutely. And now we're going to be heading into Sand, where the real meat of the run starts to come in.
Yeah, there is a skip here in Sand to hear it early called IP skip. I don't know if any of our 4 runners are going for it. It is quite difficult.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it is a very difficult skip. It does save like, what, 40 in this category?
Like
But
30.
is it 30? Okay, yeah, I wasn't quite sure. But yeah.
Yeah. Instead, we'll be seeing IP clip, in which we just roll straight for a wall because they're just illusions. It's fine.
And speaking of post-game setup, like we were earlier, that seed right there that Agron just placed is set up for post-game later. Whenever we get to Sand Kingdom in like 2 hours from now again, that seed will be fully grown for us, and it'll be a really quick win.
Yeah, lots of setup now for things that are going to happen a lot later. That's one of the really cool things that's going on here.
Yeah. And it looks like Zach is going for a skip here called Dram Strat, doing a long jump into an up throw and leaving Cappy out, and then shaking him right before you grab this moon so you can instantly teleport to the bill. And then chaining that into another trick called Platform Clip, where you have this platform clip you out of bounds by doing a ledge grab, dropping down from the ledge into a cap throw to get clipped into the wall, and then you could get this moon and the Sphinx moon really quickly without having to talk to the Sphinx.
Yeah, 2 tricks chained right together in a row. They're really cool to see. Agron going a little too early on Dram there, capturing the bullet bill before he was able to grab the moon.
Yeah, that is definitely a mistake I see myself making a lot with Dram Strat.
Yeah, it's all about timing.
Yeah.
And definitely go too early or too late very easily. It's cool to see how platform clip has been incorporated into this route.
And it looks like Zach is going for IP clip here. Like we mentioned earlier, it is some runners opt for a backflip here. Other runners just opt for a ground pound roll cancel, which is just rolling in the thrown cappy to clip through the wall, getting a lot of speed.
Clean second try.
Yeah, for sure.
Worth mentioning that doing this clip saves us from going around the whole kingdom, collecting 2 other story moons, which would normally open the door.
Yeah, for sure. And the IP skip I was mentioning earlier, you would be skipping this entire 2D section and then the following 2D section, and then the other room after that, and you would just be landing up by the Harriet Arena. But I don't think we're going to be seeing any of our runners go for that today.
Pretty speedy clip from Deckable 2. And all of our runners, other than Agron, are going to be entering this long 2D section here. And this is what IP skips. You don't have to go through any of this if you do that trick. But it is it is very precise, and there is no real setup.
Agron struggling with IP clip here. This is quite brutal.
Yeah, this just happens sometimes.
Yeah, like
it's really annoying.
You'll have on days and then you'll have off days with this trick where like you'll just feel like you didn't change anything and all your inputs are the same, but sometimes the trick doesn't want to work.
But he's in there. That's the important part.
Yeah, he got through finally.
And Zach is going to be just heading up to the top of the inverted pyramid. Yeah, so with IP skip, you don't even enter the pyramid at all. You go use an icicle to get all the way on top and then do a extremely weird corner clip to just maneuver on up.
And because of that, you would skip the 2D, some of the 2D moons, so you have to get back up later in the route.
Yeah, doesn't save quite as much as it does in World Peace, for example, because of, you know, all that routing stuff. But still a really good chunk of time.
And something minor here that you're going to be seeing Zach and some of our other runners doing is they're just going to be standing in precise spots in this Harriet Arena just to get her to do less jumps around here. So you can kind of hit the bomb right back into her immediately.
All the bosses are kind of on baby mode right now. We'll be seeing Harriet come back with 2 whole bombs instead of 1 in Bowser's.
And we can do some cool things with that second bomb, can't we?
Yes, we can.
True.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we will be showcasing that later. But for now, on to Nightstand, which is just going to consist of us kind of grabbing like 2 or 3 quick moons and then bomb rushing Knuckle Attack as fast as we can. And kind of just finishing off Peace here, then leaving the kingdom.
Yeah, we got a nice time skip here. Mario took a quick nap. It's exhausting, you know?
Yeah, saving the world.
So yeah, the way this routing is going to work is the runners saved some room on the right-ish side of the kingdom for these moons that they're going to get now. And that's why they didn't get some of the moons that you'd get in any percent before entering the inverted pyramid. But you do still need 16 moons to clear this kingdom, which is a good amount, so...
Yeah,
not going to be like Cascade.
we have a majority of those at this point, though, as you can see. So we're just going to be bum rushing Knuckle Attack as fast as we can and only stopping for stuff that's directly on our path here in Nightsand.
Yeah. That's interesting. This cuts... I think this route definitely cuts out... in Nightsand, there are these annoying little guys on the ground that you'll see. I have no idea what they're called. Do you know?
Mummies,
Mummies. Okay, they're just called mummies.
I believe, unless I've just been misnaming them this entire time.
I was wondering if there was some kind of quirky Nintendo name for them. They do that a lot.
I feel like there is, but I couldn't tell what.
Yeah, these guys. You can roll into one of those so easily. It just gets you.
And then it snowballs because then you take damage, you lose all your speed, and then the next one you lose another 2 seconds because of the damage refill animation. So it is a very annoying mistake to make because you're just not punished for that mistake. You're also punished as you grab the next moon.
Yeah. Gonna be doing a cool trick here. Well, not really I mean, that's just how you're supposed to get that moon. But, yeah, going to be using that Goomba stack to get a moon way up in the air.
This is a trick right here Zach's doing with this instant pull build capture. With the instant capture on the spin throw, that was beautiful. That was a lot harder on that first build capture there for sure.
Yeah. Lots of micro optimizations we're seeing in the movement here. Dylan going to be going for the same thing. Missing it, but able to back it up because Cappy came back and he was able to do a quick rainbow spin, which suspended Mario in the air long enough for him to be able to just capture the bullet bill normally. It is a little risky because if you miss it completely, then you are just going to fall into the looming pit underneath and die. But all these runners...
that was a little bit scary. That could have been very bad.
Duck choosing to go with a slightly different strat, knocking the hat off the bullet bill with a cap bounce, and then diving back for it. Very nice.
Yeah, I got the Duck a little scared me there for sure. The Cappy got stuck underneath that flat platform, and that could have gone south very fast.
Yeah, all good though. Yeah, seeing slightly different strats there from every runner. It's one of the cool things to see with these races. You get to see different ways to do everything.
Yeah.
And then this boss fight we're doing right now is called Knucklotech. I don't know how to do this boss fight fast at all, so if you guys do...
I do actually. So what you want to do here is after you not get this first hit, you want to roll towards the boss to minimize its travel distance in the arena. That way you're kind of going to it instead of it coming to you. And then that saves like 2 seconds during the fight. And then other than that, you just want to make sure you're standing in the right places while the boss is in its kind of knocking down its ice space here. So the ice ball's near the fist. So you can knock it really quickly like Duck is doing right there into a fast spin throw capture. And then that also makes it so you can kind of get this punch hit really fast too. I believe it is 2-1-2 for the boost. So you do 2 boosts on the first one, 1 on the second one, and then 2 on the last one to get your maximum speed out of the fist.
Yeah, there's really no special strats on this fight other than just some micro-optimizations.
Yeah, like I mentioned, but there's like this boss is definitely sort of one of the auto-scroller ones. You're gonna see that a lot with the world peace bosses. There's not really a way to speed up a lot of the world peace bosses. But bosses like the Brutals, like Topper and Harriet and all those, that you have kind of fast strats built in that are kind of easy to do to speed up the fight.
All right, Zach going to be done getting world peace here, almost ready to head out of the kingdom, but he does need to talk to this tourist because that is going to trigger a sequence of moons that we need for later kingdoms. So that's just one of the things each of these runners are going to be doing.
Yeah, the tourists make up, what is it, like 2 fast moons? And then you get an extra one on top of that for the Toadette achievement, I think is what it is in Darker.
Mm-hmm.
You get 1 moon in Metro, and then you get 1 moon in Luncheon, I believe it is.
That sounds about right.
And way later in the run, you get the Metro Moon in Metro 1 here, and then you get the Luncheon Moon in post-game towards the very end of the run. And then Toadette awards you with another Power Moon on top of that. Because if you don't know, Toadette is kind of like an achievement system we have in the game here, where if you do certain tasks that she wants you to do, you'll get rewarded with the Power Moon. So it makes some of these moons that you would think, like, why are these runners going out of the way for this fast? Because you're getting a bonus moon on top of the moons you would already get from it.
We're going to see these runners choosing to go into Wooded first instead of Lake first, which is important for the routing for reasons we'll be seeing later.
Yeah, and Wooded too. You want to make sure you look at that Wooded hint art behind one of the trees before you enter Sand Kingdom so you can grab it.
It also decides the painting order for which we'll be traveling for most of post-game.
Yeah, and you're going to see all our runners hop into post-game, or hop into Deep Woods here immediately just for a couple quick moons. It's just the entrance for Deep Woods is real conveniently right next to the Odyssey, so it's kind of fast to skip them now.
Yeah, Wooded is a large kingdom, and even just in this main game segment, we're going to be seeing a lot of it.
Yeah, you're going to be seeing a Deep Woods followed by some like any %-esque movement here. Like we mentioned earlier, we do not get the World Peace boss for Wooded in this first visit, and that's just because you have to climb the entire kingdom again after you kill Spirit. And it's happens that the painting is kind of halfway up that climb, so if you do it in post-game, you can kind of enter the painting, and then you're kind of right next to the boss. I guess we should also mention in the Deep Woods here, you'll see on Dylan's screen, for example, these runners are on kind of a T-Rex cycle here, where if you do the movement really clean, the dino can be right in the position you need him to be, so you just kind of save a couple seconds with good movement.
Very nice.
And but with that, we should be editing Deep Woods here and going on to kill Spirit.
Yep. Yeah,
Setting
so
the required 16 moons and leaving.
yeah,
Yeah.
there are a number of these. You'll see Zach planting a nut here. There are a number of those pots that you can plant the seeds in, and those will take you to different parts of the kingdom. So it's very intentionally routed so that this takes you right up to where it makes sense to go next.
Oh, and Zach going for uprootless here. Love this movement. It only saves like a second or so, but it is very clean whenever it's done right, just like that.
Nice. Yeah, you'll notice those jumps were kind of high. You're usually supposed to use the uproot capture, which he just passed by. But
Yep.
yeah.
The reason that saves time is because after exiting Deepwood, you kind of have to wait for the uproot to spawn in. But if you do the uproot skip there, you don't have to wait for that.
Okay, don't blink. Zach
Yeah.
is going to go out of bounds and immediately go back inbounds. There we
Yeah.
go. That's called gate skip, and that's going to save him about 7 seconds, I think.
Yeah, somewhere around there. You just don't have to watch the gate opening animation, so you can kind of get up there a little bit early.
Very nice.
Oh, Aggron fumbling around with the seed there in Deep Woods.
Yeah, and Duck just getting out here. All the runners still at pretty similar points in the run. We're seeing them do these things in quick succession.
Yeah, this is definitely the part of Wooded I like the most. This kind of just fast movement all the way up to Spirit and then leaving the kingdom.
Yeah. In shorter categories, we tend to avoid these story moons, like the one Zach just got, that have a cutscene. We do get some of them, but they're not as favored, since the cutscene tends to lose a considerable amount of time. But we're gonna need them here because story moons advance the story, and in order to unlock a lot of fast moons, that is what we need to do.
Okay, and we're seeing Zach go for a Flower Road script there. That roll cancel afterwards did go a little bit wrong, but that was a really good backup.
Nice backup by Dylan too.
Yeah.
Getting the triple jump off that railing is not easy, especially when your setup falters.
And now we're seeing Zach complete the tower here up to Spear, and then he's going to kill Spear and then leave the kingdom.
So yeah, the nice thing about this version of Flower Road Skip that we're going to be seeing Duck doing here in a second is that you start from a consistent spot from the story moon cutscene, so you get a chance to think, you get to set it up. Duck doing a really interesting setup there, doing a spin pound back first and then doing a second spin pound forward, which removes the roll cancel. Nice.
Yeah.
Little-
That's going to be really scary from Duck. Yeah, that's just a death.
Unfortunate. Yeah, that can just happen sometimes. Momentum is really important.
I think that
This
was savable, but it would have been really, really tight.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and going to have to do the vault back up there as well, because, like I was saying, momentum.
Oh, no!
Oh, no. That is that is wildly unfortunate. That's the thing about Wooded.
Yeah.
It'll get you. There's wide open, empty expanse under you. It is extremely demanding.
Yeah, and if just like one miss input can definitely result in a death for sure, just like we saw. That was just a slightly wrong dive angle, and that's all it takes. And we are moving on to Lake now, which is a very quick kingdom. We're going to be in and out. We're just going to be going to Spirit, grabbing a couple quick moon, or Rango, my bad, going to Rango, grabbing a couple quick moons on the way, looking at a hint art, and then leaving.
Yeah, nothing too complicated with this Spirit boss fight either. With Spirit, the main difficulty of the boss fight is that he's supposed to go around and pinball around the little boss arena and spew poisonous goop everywhere. But you can just kind of hit him before he gets a chance to move, so it's not gonna be much of a worry for these runners.
Oh, and Zach going for a zipper dram here, going down to the cheap moon, bonking.
Ooh.
No. Going for it again, giving it a second try here, grabbing the moon, and then gonna be homing Cappy in to dram to the zipper.
Oh, unfortunate. Just a little too late.
Yeah, just a little bit too slow on that movement, I think. But luckily, the backup's really easy. We're actually going to be seeing Zach go for a new lake route here as well, I believe, that I mentioned earlier. Zach's going to be grabbing this moon around the corner, trying it for the triple jump moon clip. I don't know if that works. It does. Beautiful. Nice. So Zach going to be grabbing this checkpoint up top next to the painting, going down, grabbing this chest moon. And this route Zach is doing is skipping the Poison Waves sub-area and post-game. And like it saves a little bit of time, and that is beautiful. Getting that triple clip.
Yeah,
those are not easy. Those are like near frame perfect. Based on what I'm seeing right here, Zach's kind of on a heater. I've really seen very few mistakes from him.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we're going to be seeing a slight route difference here already. I believe Dylan is doing this without lake clip. So that's going to be just slightly different. And I believe that's pretty much just the same as the any % route here. In this case.
I mean, I think, like Zach was saying to me, this lake clip route is very not worthwhile to go for from Door runners. He kind of just wanted to show it off on the big stage. So that's kind of the reason he's going for it, just so we can see what this lake reroute looks like.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Oh, Duckable missing that zipper capture there. Nice and easy backup though.
Yeah, and we're going to see Zach here going over, looking at this picture and leaving. And you might be thinking, well, what does that do? And the reason we do that is because there are these hidden moons that you can get by ground pounding. And normally with a ground pound moon, the controller sort of hints to you where it is by rumbling around it. But the idea of hint arts is that you look at these pictures and they hint to you where the moon is, and it's like a little puzzle that you have to figure out. But those moons don't activate until you look at the hint art, supposedly because they didn't want people finding them on accident. So the runners are going to have to look at those pictures in order to activate those moons. So that's why they're doing that.
And Zach, moving on to Cloud here. This kingdom is pretty easy. It's kind of just a boss fight kingdom, and then you're out. So Zach's going to be going into the arena and doing a strat called Fast Hats, where he's just going to get into Bowser's face here, and then instantly capture the hat using a jump and a cap throw. On the first phase, it's just going to be a regular jump and cap throw, and then on the next two, you're going to see a backflip and cap throw.
Interested to see if anyone gets a Cloud boost here. Yeah.
Definitely looks like Zach went for it, but he just missed the inputs a little bit. He got a rainbow spin instead. And Zach's going for the hint art here as well for a couple extra coins. If you grab it here during the boss fight, you actually don't lose any time and don't have to grab it in Metro in the pool.
Yeah, it's confusing because there are moon hint arts and coin hint arts. Coin hint arts are available all the time, and they just give you coins. But moon hint arts are what we just explained. So, and we refer to them both as hint arts. So it might get a little confusing, but just be aware of that.
Yeah, I believe the two hint arts that are in this route are the one here in Cloud and then the one in Ruined Kingdom as well, just because they're both during boss fights and you don't have to lose time for grabbing them.
So the Luigi hint arts were released through Twitter, I think, where Nintendo just posted pictures that were hints to these coin hint arts.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. But now runners just kind of know where they are and they can kind of just implement them into the route for 200 extra coins. And for this run specifically, we need 1,000 coins total, I believe it is. Or maybe it's a little bit more with the addition of Lake Clip. Oh, no! That is a death from Zach, trying to go for that roll cancel around the corner and getting Cappy eaten by the Trapedal.
Yeah, that'll do it. Going for some flashy movement there, and unfortunately paying the price. But let's see if it works out here.
Yeah, Zach having to back up meme tree here now. This is not great.
I believe that's just going to put Dylan in the lead at the moment. That's going to, I mean, that's going to be pretty volatile this early in the run. But
yeah, like we said, it's an over 3-hour run. Definitely room for the lead to change still. I don't know exactly why that didn't work for Duck. I didn't get a good enough view of that, but that was a little bit confusing. Oh, and it looks like Dylan going for this glide on skip gear to get to the 2D section early, but just not having the height for it. And we're going to see Zach attempt this as well, because I know I've been watching Zach do PB attempts, and he does go for this. So hopefully we can see it executed here. What you're trying to aim for is trying to fly glide on from this island all the way over to the 2D section, and then doing an uncaptured wall jump just to barely get into the moon hitbox. And just like that, beautiful. And that's kind of like saves a warp, I believe, on the map.
wow. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. Oh no. We're gonna be. So that was an intentional death. If you when you die, you respawn at the previous checkpoint that you got. So what am I saying? Sometimes we use that to our advantage. Instead of warping, which you can do at any time on the map, we just die. So if you see any runners die in a seemingly intentional way, then it probably was. Well,
yeah, that is the first example of it in the run. It is just faster to walk off that platform and die rather than open up the map and walk to the checkpoint.
We're going to be seeing it a couple of other times, I think, throughout the run.
Yeah, I think there might be like 2 or 3 more times. It's not very many more, but yeah. And I guess another one is right here with this moon right here under the bridge.
yeah, if you these runners are gonna be doing.
Oh yeah, they did the 2D section already. That's right. Sorry, my bad.
Oh right.
So they
Still
can
have
just leave.
difference.
That's right. I'm thinking of old route. My bad. My route's still on old. My brain is still on old route.
Duck also gonna be going for the skip.
It does not look like that's gonna work, unfortunately.
Unfortunate. Yeah, that looks really tight.
Yeah, you need like perfect flying to make that work.
Yeah, and from Agron here, we already saw the other runners do this. But you can just spin, pound, dive, and the next moon is right there, which is very interesting. How some moons are right next to each other and others are very far apart.
Now in Night Metro, we're going to be seeing these runners just kind of grab 2 or 3 quick moons here because there's not very many available in the nighttime portion of Metro, and then kind of bum rushing this boss just to get it to daytime. There's not really, like I said, not really much you can do at nighttime, so it's going to be rushing the boss.
There was a out-of-bounds clip in the boss fight discovered recently that we're going to be, we're not going to be seeing the clip here.
I think we are actually. It's faster for
we?
darker. I think Zach's going to go for it. I
Oh,
believe.
awesome.
Yeah, so
I was going to ask if that had any applications in this route, but I didn't think it did. That's really cool.
yeah, all you have to do is whenever you got that out of bounds, you just skip it in post game then.
Nice.
It's really easy routing.
Yeah, because this boss is basically an auto-scroller, being able to escape and run around grabbing moves is really huge.
Oh, and Zach going for the faster tower climb move, and I
Wow.
love that. The only other person I really see going for that is Tyrone, so that is really cool that he's able to nail it right here.
Yeah, that's an even faster version of, well, it's an even faster alternative to a trick, to an already very hard trick that saved us about a second. Dylan and Zach very close here. Just right on his tail.
We'll see if, I don't think Dylan's going to go for Giggler, but I believe Zach is going to go for it here.
We'll see.
Yeah, Dylan's not going for it. We'll see if Zach goes for it here. I think he's setting up for it. Yeah, that's what I thought. Unfortunately missing it there.
Yeah, so that's going to be pretty much the same inputs as those backflip moon flips that we
Yeah.
saw earlier.
It's kind of just a damage clip. It works the same way as the moon flips, I believe. It kind of skews your Mario a little bit and pushes them through the wall. And Zach will not be penalized too harshly like that. Like I said, the moon we grab out of bounds during this fight, we kind of run right through anyway in post game, so it's not really much of a time loss in this category specifically. Zach does have to be careful here though, because he is on 1 HP. He took an extra hit that he was not supposed to take. Hopefully he's not punished for that. No, Zach!
Oh.
Getting too greedy.
That's just how it is sometimes. That's going to
Yeah.
be extremely unfortunate.
He will get another chance at Giggler here though, at least. So hopefully we can see it the second time around.
True. Good point.
Looks
Yeah.
like he's choosing not to go for it this time. Okay.
Very, very understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah, at most points in this game, we don't really have to worry too much about our health meter, just because of the nature of the game and the routes we choose to take. But in situations like this, it can get risky.
So we're actually going to see something pretty cool here with Zach and Agron. They are kind of like pretty much in sync. So we're going to see how much specific pattern to lose here on Wiggler, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll notice their Wigglers are taking a bit of a different path here. That is because the Wiggler is one of the rare sources of randomness in this game, where there's a ton of different ways that it can crawl out of the wall. And some patterns, you can make a pattern fast. A lot of it is up to you, but some of them just have less potential for speed than others. Some of them are also just harder to make them fast.
In this specific scenario, I think Zach and Agron are still like pretty much frame tied.
Yeah, wow. That is
That's crazy, because like we said, the RNG definitely does lose time or save time, but I think they played the Wiggler just well enough that the RNG didn't really matter. And it looks like Duck actually got a Giggler here.
nice.
I didn't even notice that. Yeah, beautiful. So Duck's going to be grabbing this moon out of bounds, like I mentioned, in the girder, and then she doesn't have to grab that in post game.
Yeah, we're going to be seeing her go back through a pipe here just in time to catch the final phase of the Wiggler. Very cool trick.
Yeah, nice. Love to see that. And now we're going to be seeing some stuff from the runners that you would think is pretty slow, but playing these seeds actually does pay off in post game. You get some quick moons from them, but right now it does kind of look like slow and out of the way, but there is payoff in post game for it.
Yeah, seeds are moons where you plant a seed in a pot, and after, I believe, like 20 minutes, some of them are longer, but I think these normal seeds are about 20 minutes of real-time passes checking the system clock. It'll just sprout, and you touch it, and there's a moon. So those are very fast moons here.
Yeah, they kind of just work out in Darker that if we play them at main game, 20 minutes would have definitely passed before we come back to these kingdoms. So they'll just be growing for us. And it looks like for 3 of our runners here, even all 4 of our runners, it's a pretty dang close race.
Yeah.
Definitely in post game, anyone can come back from this.
Yeah, it's still staying pretty tight here. Yeah, these runners are going to be talking to these musicians who are going to be giving the moons, and these are all required story moons for getting World Peace and Metro. So just going to be going around chatting up some people, putting the band together.
That bench friend did not want to talk to Duck there. Struggled
Yeah,
quite a bit.
That happens sometimes. As we can see here, Dylan has already advanced the story, and we're going to be going underground. There is a roll cancel clip that you can do there called Sewer Clip, which is extremely tight, which doesn't save as much time in Darker because there's a moon here that you'd have to miss if you did it. But yeah, Sewer Clip, you just clip through the pipe, and it takes you directly to the last room that Dylan is about to go in. So
Yeah, you need to get it, I believe, like first or second try in this category to really save time with it, and it is a very difficult clip, so it is just not very RTI viable.
Yeah, there's some things here that are just more theoretical than anything.
Oh, Agron missing that seed pot there. But with that, we are going to be seeing Dylan start the festival, which is probably my favorite portion of World Peace. Just getting to jam out and do some kind of fun 2D platforming here. So if you got some jam emotes, post them in the chat.
Duckable getting the seed, thankfully bouncing a little and going into the pot there. You can throw it really far if you shake your controller, and sometimes it just parabolas directly into the pot. Nothing but net. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I love doing that. It's very difficult for a lot of these seed pots because the seed pots are very tiny, but if you know the precise movement and all the angles and everything, you can make it happen.
Yeah, and we are going to be seeing Dylan entering the festival here. We can't actually hear the aforementioned music, but you'll just have to trust us that it's good.
Yeah, just wait a minute or two for Zach to get there.
Yeah, Zach will be starting it here in just a minute. Just has to ground pound this button and then talk to Pauline.
Yeah, and this is a very good example of the sacrifices that are worth it in Darker, because the festival is a extremely long and slow section, but we just need it to unlock the moon rock later, so it's far too worth it to not do.
Well, that was a nice dive ball from Duckable there into the moon.
So yeah, most of the 2D movement here is going to be nothing to write home about. There are some people who have optimized Festival to unbelievable heights. There are some crazy 2D section runners out there, but yeah, for most purposes, the 2D sections in this game are pretty straightforward.
Dylan showcasing the Pauline cam there. Love to see it. And with that, Dylan's going to be leaving Metro after grabbing this Taurus moon I mentioned earlier, and this Girder moon. It's just kind of faster to save this Girder moon specifically for later in the route because you get a better taxi cycle for seed movement. So it doesn't save or lose any time to grab that Girder moon early in the route or later. It just makes some of the movement easier.
You'll notice some of these runners going into first person before talking to an NPC, and when you see them do it, it's actually a mistake because that means they weren't in the talking radius, but when it's successful, you don't even notice anything. But basically what that does is it just cancels the animation of the camera movement of when you talk to someone. So that's one of those cool, tiny little optimizations.
Yeah, it saves quite a bit of time throughout the run if you do it a bunch of times successfully.
We're going to be seeing a lot of that at the end with Toadette, but that's not for a while.
Yeah, that is definitely like the biggest application of it because you're going to be doing it before you have every single one of those Toadette moons.
And Dylan's going to be making his way into Snow.
This is definitely one of the more annoying kingdoms for Darker Side specifically because you have to clip into the Bamble arena to get in there early so you don't have to grab the 4-story moons. And that clip can be very annoying. There are many different options for it. All these runners are going to be attempting the moon clip, which is the fastest option. And then if you don't get that, there are a handful of backups, and this kingdom can snowball quite quickly if you're not able to get one of those backups fast.
Yeah. Yeah, either way, no matter how you do it, you do need to clip out of bounds here.
And the reason we do that is actually, like I said, to skip those storm-ins, but we do end up grabbing them in post-game. What the clip allows us to do in post-game is kind of grab those moons for free. For example, in the shard room, you don't have to collect any of the shards before grabbing the storm moon. In the Rango room, you don't have to fight Rango. So we can grab kind of all those storm moons for free, and they end up being really fast because of the clip.
Yeah, lots of time saved over the course of the run just from doing that one thing. And we are going to be seeing Dylan come up to the aforementioned moon clip here. Just going to be regular backflip on like we've been seeing.
That did work. Okay, I thought that Miss Spin Pound was going to throw him off, but that was a successful moon clip and
Nice.
roll cancel into the Boundball Arena there.
He remains unfazed. Yeah, normally you need to go through all the story before that to get down there. But the loading zone is there, as you can see. They didn't do anything to prevent you.
And like I was mentioning, that is definitely the most important moon clip in the run. That saves like at least 10 seconds over any first try backup. It is very easy to kind of get tilted after not getting that and then lose focus and snowball in this kingdom on any of the roll cancel clips and kind of get walled. But Dylan is going to be going into the bound bowl here, so if you have any guesses, throw them in the chat. I believe any good guesses are anything below a minute for all these runners.
Yeah, it's going to have an in-game timer, which speedrunners love, obviously.
It looks like Zach got that moon clip. Can we see a 4-4-4 with the moon clip today? We are 2 for 2. And Agron coming up to it right now. Hopefully he can nail it too. We'll see. Keep the streak alive here. I believe that is successful. That's 3 for 3, I think. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, that was... I don't know what that move was, but it worked. Okay, it's all unduckable to get 4 for 4 here on a Darker Side race. That would be beautiful, because like I said, this is the most important moon clip in the game.
No pressure.
Yeah.
Dylan just bouncing his way through the stage here. It is truly amazing how in this game you really can capture anything. Well, I mean, not anything, but you you literally turn into a little otter guy.
Looks like Dylan got a 5280. I'm not seeing any 5280s in the chat other than Anto cheating. Get out of here, Anto.
Nah, these are just guesses for Zach.
Yeah, like everything in this game, there are some people who are extremely dedicated to just Bound Bowl, just this little racing minigame. It is interesting how tight the lines can get. But it's not going to be too much of a concern for these runners.
It looks like Duckable did miss the moon clip, unfortunately, going for a screen clip as a backup. This clip can be very finicky. I'm not quite sure exactly how this works. I think it's a spin pound roll cancel to the right there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a little weird. You have to delay the roll cancel like by a serious amount, like more probably than any other roll cancel clip. Certainly more than a lot of the like instant ones.
Yeah, I believe that might be the fastest backup, question mark, I think, if you get it first try.
Yes.
Looks like Zach getting a 5650 there. I'm trying to keep up with chat. I can't tell if these are delayed or not.
They are.
Yeah.
We got fishing from Dylan.
Yeah.
This is another rare source of randomness in this game. It is completely random when the fish decides to give you a good bite. If you try to pull it in on any other bite, then it won't work. So you just have to wait for like however many bites it takes, and sometimes you can get completely screwed over. But I think Dylan got pretty good luck there. I'm not sure.
Yeah. In very rare circumstances, that moon can spiral and you can lose like 30 seconds to it, but A majority of the time, you will save quite a bit by grabbing it. It is a pretty quick moon.
What's the most amount of bites you have seen?
I don't know. I think I've heard of a 19 bite once. I can't remember who that was, but I remember someone getting like something as high as that.
That's crazy. I feel like the highest I've heard of is like 11.
Yeah.
Usually, like it only takes a few.
Yeah, like
but
I feel like almost like something as high as like 90% of the time you get like 1 or 2.
Yeah.
I feel like I very rarely struggle with that moon, but on very rare circumstances, it could be bad enough to kill a full run even.
Yeah.
I believe there is not a cap to how many bites it takes. It's just very rare.
First bite from Zach there, as we're seeing. Meanwhile, Dylan's going to be in Seaside. And Seaside's going to be another pretty wide open kingdom. Lots of water, lots of spread out obstacles going on here. And we're going to be seeing that in the boss fight at the end too, where it's just going to be kind of going all around.
Dylan, what are you doing? Are you meant to get that moon there?
Yeah, that it'll be back. It'll be back. Don't worry. Everything comes back around in this category. If you see a runner doing something that seemingly doesn't make any sense at all, there's probably a reason for it, which is really cool.
Yeah, this node strat is actually one of my favorite Seaside strats. You kind of just forget about it and come back for it way later.
Yeah, I think this is probably the most interesting boss that we have in this kingdom, because you just go throughout the entire kingdom.
Yeah.
Just chasing it.
You kind of do like 2 laps here. You do 1 lap for the buttons, and then you do another lap during the boss fight. And you want to kill this Gushing intentionally here during this moon. Typically in a lot of other Odyssey categories, you want to keep that Gushing alive so you can use it after this moon, but it kind of works out that you want to kill it here so you can grab it faster in the water later. It's faster just to re-grab it with Mario.
Yeah, I believe that's just dependent on the Gushing's distance to the story moon, which is a little strange, but...
Yeah, for the kill radius, there's kind of a radius around the story moon. And Dylan, you forgot to grab it again.
I forgot you go past it again. That's hilarious.
Yeah, we come back for it. We come back for it again. It saves like very minimal amount of time to come back for it way later on the route.
I think Duck might have gotten a little mogged on that fishing there. I'm not sure.
And we're going to be seeing Dylan do some precise Gushing move in here to get the Gushing to stay alive while talking to Toad, and then also not die while grabbing the story moon. Dylan's going to be placing the Gushing in that corner there, talking to Toad, and then dropping down with the spin pound to roll into the moon to grab it before the Gushing despawns. And that's just because this movement coming up after the story moon is really fast with the Gushing, so you want to kind of keep him alive during this entire process, and dropping him down like that in that corner makes this movement pretty tight.
Yeah.
You would see a lot of beginner players typically put the Gushing right next to Toad, and then capturing it after the Toad moon. But in this scenario, you saw Dylan go for a slightly faster time save here. No, that's a despawned Gushing. That's not great.
I believe what happened there is that when he tried to capture it, it wasn't
on screen.
Yeah, it wasn't. The culling in this game is really weird, where things that aren't quite on screen can get unloaded really easily, and the interactions can just not work.
Yeah, I think I saw Dylan go for a homing capture there on the Gushing originally, and because it was off-screen Cappy, it just came back to Mario.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate how often that can happen.
Yeah, so that is a significant time loss in this game. It might not seem like it by the movement Dylan's doing, but this movement can be significantly faster if you keep the Gushing alive, and you'll probably see that by some of our other runners here. Dylan has a really clean backup here with this, though, and like you saw Zach going for the safer strat here, like that I mentioned, keeping the Gushing next to Toad there and capturing him after. And it looks like Agron's going for the riskier strat here with the Gushing. Hopefully it pays off. I think that Gushing is just dead on Agron there. I did not see it.
Yeah, that can happen. It's a tight drop there.
Yeah, just to drop the Gushing in the right spot is very tight. But you're seeing is actually a case why discussion is very useful for this specific piece of movement, as long as it doesn't despawn on him here. Which it should not, yeah. And then you're seeing that you can just kind of fly right over to this moon with the Gushin instead of having to traverse this area with Mario, which is quite quick.
It's one of those things that's like pretty difficult but pretty worth it, because even if you do keep the Gushin on the Toad platform, it has to be really far from Toad, or Toad will get scared and not want to talk to you. So
I also want to shout out that ground pound spin throw strat there. That's very cool, grabbing the moon and then having Cappy loop around after then Mario grabs the moon to grab the Gushin really fast.
yeah, just setting things up really quickly.
And I didn't mention it, but you did see Dylan grab that Nodes main during the Mollusk fight there, which is the fastest opportunity to get it because you're kind of just waiting on him anyway during that point. So just like the Cloud point hitter that I mentioned earlier, you're kind of just taking advantage of downtime during the boss to grab the moon.
Yeah, that's one of the fun things here. Even though we were like seemingly right next to it a couple of times, it is just not possible to lose time to do it during the boss fight, and that's why these runners are doing it that way.
And I guess I should also mention that Glide-On clip there, just hitting Glide-On specific ways with the Gushin to manipulate him to get to the hot springs really fast, and then that kind of glitches him out, and he kind of clips through the hot springs because I believe he's just not sure where he is, and he's trying to get to his next point as quick as possible. So you can clip him through the hot springs there, and then do a really fast ground pound with Mario.
I'm not sure if Duck's Gushin is alive. It might be like right on the edge, unless I'm blind. It is.
Oh my god, that is hanging on by pixels. Oh my, that could not be any closer. That is like 75% off that platform. We'll see if this Gushin survives after this moon here, hopefully for Duckable. I believe that's on screen. No, that is like frames too slow. That is just barely too slow.
Yeah, the thing about spin throws there is that they have a set radius at the start. Well, I mean, throughout the whole thing, the radius starts wide and gets narrower. And if you're just a little too close to the thing you're trying to capture, Cappy will just not want to work with you. He'll be stuck in that animation. So that can happen very easily.
But now we're going to be seeing the runners go on to luncheon, and this is kind of the home stretch of this main game portion here with all the bosses. And it looked like Agumon was struggling with Mollusk there a little bit. Sorry, I got distracted. Yeah, luncheon. We're going to be seeing these runners kind of just rush on this Spirit here as fast as they can to kind of just get this kingdom unlocked. And this is actually a new luncheon route I should mention. Typically we would grab, I believe, Timer? No, it was Powder on the Saw and the Alcove Moon here before Spewer in the old route. But in this route we kind of just rush Spewer, and then we grab some of the moons we would typically grab here in Luncheon 1, in Luncheon 2 and 3 in post-game. And we also don't grab the Luncheon Kingdom Hinter anymore in this new route because it's just too far out of the way.
Yeah, lots of minor routing changes that have happened. Not even, they're really not that uncommon at all. I feel like, and not even, there's not even one specific route in this. Like in any percent, for example, at a top level, there will be pretty much, yeah, there will be one route that all the players will be doing. But in a category like this, like even at a top level, you'll probably see some minor route differences by just runners choosing what they want to do.
And this is this luncheon route I mentioned. I believe this is the newest Darker Side route. I don't think there's anything newer than this, so kind of cool to showcase on the big stage here.
Yeah.
Oh, Duckable struggling with Mollusk a little bit here, but that should work. Oh yeah, okay, that was pretty clean. Let's get back up. Yeah, it looks like 3 of our runners. I don't know if Duckable's going for the newest route or not, but it looks like at least 3 of our 4 runners are going for the newest luncheon route here.
And yeah, we're gonna be seeing Spirit come back, but he didn't get any more difficult. Just going to be doing the exact same thing we did in Wooded. That's that's how this is going to work.
And now for a pretty difficult sub area on Dylan's side. Like, this room is very easy to go right, but if one thing goes wrong, it is very easy to die and lose a boatload of time in this room. A lot of the platform is pretty tight. But yeah, there's a cycle we're trying to make with this platform right here, so it's lined up right in the middle, and you can kind of just shake and then go right into the moon there real fast. And yeah, going into the meat multi-moon here for Dylan. Obviously just a very fast multi-moon on its own, and unlocks the cockatiel fight that we're going to see here in a minute.
Nothing too non-standard going on here yet. This is very... This resembles... Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, Zach's trying to showcase the faster any percent movement here for getting into the sub-area. You can kind of grab this moon before the sub-area and then do a kind of a fancy jump here to get to the door really fast. I believe it's just a roll cancel off this ledge. Oh, Zach's struggling quite a bit with it, but getting a triple throw there.
Nice.
And making it beautiful.
Able to avoid taking damage there is
that was beautiful reaction time there by Zach.
Something I don't believe we've mentioned is that if you're on anything less than 3 health, when you grab a moon, damage refill animation will play because it refills your health. So ideally, you want to be at 3 health whenever you grab a moon, whenever possible.
And Dylan doing some movement without Cappy there after the timer to cross that gap. And then going into the sub area. Typically, this sub area would be in, I believe, luncheon. It's either 2 or 3. I always forget. But we do it in luncheon 1 here just because it's kind of convenient and right in our path with this new routing. Because in the old route, immediately after the multi-moon, we would warp back up to that meat plateau checkpoint and do some movement to get to the chest and then the hint art. But in this new route, we're kind of just taking this route to the boss and skipping over the hint art because, like I said, it's a little bit too slow. And we kind of grab that chest now in post-game instead of main game in luncheon 3. Oh, and that's a very nice peekaboo jump by Dylan there to get into that alcove, keeping a lot of speed and making this fastest cycle.
Yeah, so this is the second step Dylan's going to be taking, or I guess the... Wow, yeah, there are a lot of story moons going on here. We're almost at the end of the story of World Peace in Luncheon, is what I'm trying to say.
And just in main game in general, we only have 3 more kingdoms left here in main game after this one.
Yeah. Yeah, we're getting into... we're getting close to the main game, sure.
And this is one of the moons where it's actually faster to capture this plant, just because like I mentioned for Toadette earlier, you need a set amount of captures for one of the achievement moons. And this plant just happens to be pretty fast to grab the moon with, rather than just not capturing the plant and spawning the moon with just Mario. And we're seeing some fancy KFR-like movement there up to the boss.
Nice. And this boss that Dylan is heading into right now is infamous among the Odyssey community for bad hitboxes and just overall, like, you'll be seeing it's going to be spitting out this lava, which it's a cool mechanic in theory because the Podoboo capture can swim in lava, and it's like, oh, you're swimming up to the bird and hitting the bird. Isn't that nifty? But as the platforms get narrower here, especially on the next phase, it's just gonna be annoying.
Yeah, something I want to mention here that you saw on Dylan's screen, you kind of saw him just get hit out of nowhere by nothing, and that is just an invisible hitbox that Cockatiel can have. And I actually have a working theory for this one as being a damageless pro back in the day. My working theory is that the fruit hitbox that you see Cockatiel spew, or the fruit that you see Cockatiel spew out of its mouth, I believe that hitbox spawns above his head before it comes out of his mouth. So if you go too fast, you kind of get punished.
Oh, I see.
That's my working theory.
Interesting.
I really can't see any other reason why that would happen.
Yeah, fortunately, Dylan having a clean boss fight there. It's not. If everything goes fine, it's not hard. But the second you get caught on one of those platforms, it is just extremely annoying. And thankfully, the multi-moon, that's one thing. With a multi-moon specifically, if you have less than 3 health going into it, it'll refill your health without playing any cutscenes or anything.
Yeah, so if you're going to take damage in any spot, bosses are typically the best spot to take damage in. Or multi-moons in general, just because you don't get punished with that health refill.
Yeah.
You still get punished with a little like kind of freeze. The game freezes for like a split second there when you take damage, but that's kind of like the only punishment.
Mm-hmm.
I think all of our runners are going for this new lantern route, if I'm reading Duckable's gameplay correctly.
Yeah, the next kingdom up here is just going to be Ruined. This is one of the couple kingdoms that we're not going to be coming back to because it's just so small. There's not much to do there even after the game ends, or after in post game.
Yeah, none of the Ruined post game ends are very fast, so we kind of just grab this chest before the boss fight just for another chest moon there, and then start the boss fight and then kind of do it. It's kind of just our auto-scroller kingdom.
And just as I was talking about before, Agron getting totally screwed over by this last phase here. You can just the hitboxes for those for the lava there can just be so finicky. Yeah, and Ruined is just going to be some nice downtime here for these runners.
If I'm reading the chat correctly, I don't know if Duckable got corner of the magma swamp before.
I believe she did right off the spear.
Right after Spewer? Okay. Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure Duckable isn't missing a moon there. Because that would be very bad later in the route. That could kind of spiral.
Yeah, if you... In the scenario that a routing mishap occurs and you miss a moon, there are some backup moons you can get. Some pretty fast known backups that you can just throw into your route. But ideally, ideally you obviously just want to get everything that you're supposed to.
Yeah, and you also have to make sure you're missing a moon before you get like all the way to the end of Mushroom Kingdom, and then you kind of globe and see that you're at like 4.99 or something. That's like worst case scenario.
Yeah, sometimes you just don't know, and that's really annoying.
Yeah.
The backups in Mushroom just aren't great.
Yeah, you're losing like a minute for each one of those typically. But with that, Dylan is finishing up Ruined here as some of our other runners are just entering. And we're going to be going on to an actual good kingdom, dare I say it, Bowser's Kingdom.
Yeah, Bowser's cool.
Yeah, Ruined not so much, kind of lame.
Oh, unfortunate. I believe Agron missed the jump back up to the wire. You can kind of do a nifty little jump there to get back up from that lower platform, but it's easy to fail. But yeah, that's not going to lose much time. One fun thing you can do here that we're going to be seeing from Zach is if you repeatedly cap throw at the wall there, you can just kind of suspend Mario in the air, which is a fun way to avoid the lightning that's streaming out across the ground in those in-between phases. But yeah, every runner is just going to be pretty much doing whatever there. It doesn't. There's a lot of auto scroller going on in Ruined.
And going into Bowser's here, we're going to be seeing kind of another one of these dram strategies that I mentioned earlier with this bird here on this moon down here. I don't know the name of it, I forget it, but you just kind of want to throw Cappy up there next to the bird, grab the moon, and then shake, and you can kind of home into the bird right there and get a fast capture. That strat's actually really easy, so...
For the uninitiated, those Cappy teleportation strategies are colloquially referred to as dram strategies because a runner named Dram55 discovered the first one in sand and explicitly said, "Don't name this after me." So naturally, what did they do?
Yeah, they're all named after Dram now. And Dylan moving on to the shards portion here. This part has a lot of really tough movement that can go wrong very easily. It looks like he's going for the new shards movement. Beautiful. Okay, so Dylan going for this shard first, and then going for this one and doing a triple jump up to this next shard here, hopefully. Or a backflip? I don't. Ideally, you want to do a triple jump there to get on top of this roof. There you go. That works too. And then you want to kind of come over and capture this bird for this last one. In other categories like any percent, you would kind of grab the shard with Cappy and not capture this bird, but we have to grab this other poke your nose on the wall moon over here, so we do capture the bird in this category. But yeah, that was some good shards movement there by Dylan.
For sure, for sure. And we're going to be taking a quick detour over to this little corner, which you never know it, but there's a moon here. And then that's going to be it for shards.
And we're going to be seeing Dylan go into the bosses here in a second, but there's another one of those dram strategies on this upcoming shop island that we're going to be seeing Dylan go for with the Jizos here.
Yeah.
And I think I'm actually going to see another dram strat here too with this wire. Lots of dram strategies here in Bowser's Kingdom now. We're going to be doing a strat called Bowser Dram.
Ooh.
That could have been very bad, but that was a nice recovery by Dylan there. And what you want to do is do a cap throw and a jump, a spin pound jump, just like that, to kind of home into the wire. It's kind of precise to get that angle right, but it's very easy to go wrong, as you saw there. And on this shop island, like I said, we're going to be capturing this first Jizo, planting it on this first podium spot right there on the ground. These podium spots are notorious for being very finicky and hard to get right, but that went pretty well there for Dylan. It's very hard to land on that tiny little spot fast. But going for this dram strat here now. Dropping the Jizo down below here on this spot, and then while the moon spawns, you're going to be doing a dive into a spin pound, into a cap bounce, into a wall jump, trying to get through that hole there. Okay, second try. Grabbing this moon and then doing a cap or a jump and a cap throw to put Cappy next to the wire, and then grabbing this moon and then teleporting back up. This is definitely one of the more fancy dram strategies for sure.
Very nice.
And we're going to be seeing Harriet first here by Dylan, which is the incorrect choice, unfortunately. But Dylan going for Sir Bomba there, which is a strat that we mentioned all the way back in Sand Kingdom, where you want to hit the first bomb into a Harriet there, and then suspend the second bomb in the air, and then use it to hit Harriet really fast there on the second phase, and kind of just get that second phase over instantly.
Just unbelievable that that's even a thing. Still can't.
Yeah,
Still can't wrap my head around it.
Yeah, the bomb just kind of glitches out in midair if you're able to hit Harriet with the first bomb before the second one gets to her. The game doesn't really know what to do with that second bomb, so. And that was a beautiful Harriet fight by Dylan there. And going into topper here. This one is kind of similar to the Captain Kingdom topper fight that we saw. A little bit fancier movement there, doing a spin throw to knock off the hats. Dropping his second hat there. And then trying to knock him over here. You can't get it with one cap throw. I think it's a little bit finicky though. So we had to back it up there with multiple cap throws. And then knocking him twice here for this last phase. That fight is quite a bit easier than the Harriet one.
Yeah, it's kind of hilarious how simple that is in contrast to Harriet.
Let's see if Zach can get Sarbomba here. That should work. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, very cool looking and not too hard relatively. It's just getting that angle is a little finicky, but
Yeah. But if you're able to nail it, it saves you quite a bit of time in this boss fight. Duckable showing off the older shard movement. I kind of mentioned earlier in shards that Dylan went for the new shards movement. This is the older one that's been around since like the dawn of time in Odyssey. That other shards movement that Dylan went for is kind of a bit newer. I think it's still a couple years old, but it's still referred to as new shards.
yeah, it's funny how that happens
Yeah.
in this game.
Yeah, another prime example why using the word new in any type of term is just awful.
If you haven't picked up on it already, we have lots of great logical names for tricks that will make so much sense.
And Dylan doing some cool movement there to get the Ogre to hit that crate moon, and then doing a RC. Oh, going for the RCB, missing the bounce on Cappy there, but to get over to Toad really fast. Oh, and then he actually went for something there that a bunch of even like Odyssey runners I feel like wouldn't even know. But if you stand in this specific spot, he failed it. But if you stand in this specific spot on the wall, the camera will not pan while you talk to Toad there, and you'll save a little bit of time. It is very difficult. That is a strat that a lot of people just would not pick up on. But I thought I'd point out.
Nice, getting that new
Yeah.
movement there, just barely getting onto that little edge there, and able to do a fling all the way across ideally.
And you're going to see our runners keep this bird here, unlike other categories, because there's a kind of quick, another one of those quick poke your nose on the whole walls right past this wire that we can grab. And this trick is referred to as a fast tippy new poke jam if you're able to get it quite fast. And that looks like a pretty clean moon from Dylan there.
Some strats like that are called dram strats that have nothing to do with teleportation at all.
Yeah.
People just think it's funny.
Yeah, that strat doesn't. I think that the name of that strat is kind of just a meme.
Same thing with snow dram. It's just a jump.
Yeah.
You just jump. That's all you do.
And we're going to be seeing Dylan do the Mecha Brutal boss fight here. This one is very cool. You're going to see him climb the mech without the bird there, landing on the pegs, and then trying to spin bounce off her here. Not going quite well, but it worked out. And then you're going to be seeing Dylan stand in a very specific spot on the mech here, right in front of Harriet on that little middle line there. If you stand right in front of Harriet just like this, the mech, you kind of manipulate the mech's movement to knock itself into the wall a couple times here, rather than roam around the arena, saves a little bit of time. And then you're going to see Dylan go for a ground pound onto a Harriet here, a spin pound, and then he's going to set up for a target acquired where you just stand in a specific spot, wait for the mech to knock you off, cap bounce, cap dive into a really fast spin pound, and that'll knock Spirit really, really fast there.
Really flashy strategy.
Yeah. Hopefully all the runners can nail it here. It is. This boss in particular can go very wrong very fast. It's one of the hardest bosses in the game to back up for sure.
Meanwhile, we got Zach heading into mech. Agron having just defeated both of the bunnies and starting the climb, and Duck heading into top air.
And it looks like Zach's about to go for a TA or target acquired here on the Mecha Brutal. Hopefully he can nail it. For savvy Odyssey viewers, I guess I can mention, there is a faster version of target acquired that is used in any percent called Fast TA, where you don't have to do the cap bounces. You can kind of do a spin pound jump into a dive to get to Spirit even a little bit faster than what Zach is doing right here. It saves like, I don't know exactly how much it saves, but there is a faster version that can be done at like top level.
Yeah, I believe some people also call that new TA, which just shows
Yeah.
that we haven't learned our lesson at all.
And with that, we're going to be going on to the final kingdom of main game, which is Moon Kingdom. And in pretty much any other category, you would see us kind of just bum rush the Bowser here in Moon Kingdom. But we're going to grab a couple quick moons here on Moon before leaving, because a lot of... we don't really do much in Moon in post-game. We want to kind of grab as many moons as we can in Moon in the short time that we're here. believe we have another $5 donation here from XX, the Death Lord XX. And it, Wordle 1080, 5 out of 6. Beautiful.
That is a Wordle game.
Congrats.
Good job. 5, not bad.
Yeah.
It's not 6. Yeah, you got it.
And this is one of the moons that I mentioned earlier. We're going to be doing a fancy triple jump over to this bunny to kind of manipulate it to go where we want. Dylan not getting the movement he wants there, unfortunately. You can manipulate that bunny to go to the right there instead and then kind of land right where the bunny lands and grab it really fast. But it's very finicky, and it's very hard to get that bunny to manipulate that bunny in the correct way.
Yeah, it goes for pretty much all the bunnies in this game, but that bunny in particular is infamous for, if you miss it at the beginning, it can be very difficult to back up.
Yeah, I would argue that's definitely the hardest bunny in the game to back up, just point blank. Just because of the moon gravity and how much slower you are than the bunny.
Yeah. Oh, unfortunately, I think Agron fell off the mech.
Yeah, oh, not great. Yeah. No, that's a death!
Ooh. That is wild.
And with that, Duckable and Agron are pretty much tied going into this mech fight.
Wow. Yeah, that's gonna make things a little more interesting. But yeah, unfortunately, if you die in a boss fight, you do always have to restart from the beginning.
Yeah.
I'm always scared to say always because there's a lot of weird exceptions in this game, but I'm pretty sure that one's true. I don't think there are any exceptions to that.
Yeah. And you just saw, we didn't call it out there, but Dylan just did a skip in Moon called Moon Skip. It lets you skip over the Moon Cave just by doing a ground pound jump into a Sharane bounce into 2 precise wall jumps. And Dylan grabbing the tip of the white spire moon there before entering the chapel from the top to grab the this moon here up in the rafters. And Dylan's going to be going for a fast hat here on the very first phase of Bowser, doing a spin throw to get Cappy to roam around here and get the hat to circle Mario so we can get into Bowser phase really fast there.
Very clean.
And then these last 2 hats are going to be the same thing that you saw in Cloud Kingdom with a backflip and a cap throw to capture them fast.
Yeah, now we just have Bowser spinning some fire in between the hat phases.
Well, how'd that not hit Dylan?
The funny thing about this fire is that it's actually just a floor check.
Yeah, so as long as you're in the air, even if you're in the air by a singular pixel, that fire will not damage you.
Yeah, nice little game dev trick here that happens to benefit us as speedrunners.
Well, I mean, it doesn't really benefit us. It doesn't really save us.
I mean,
yeah, it doesn't really save us any time. It's just the fire hitbox is just broken.
it's at least nice to have a little.
Oh
more
yeah,
leniency for
Dylan showcasing the roll, my favorite. You can just roll over it.
Yeah.
Right through it. Right through it. The roll for the fans, I love it.
Did we talk about Moonskip?
Yeah, I mentioned it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I mentioned it right after Dylan did it. We'll be seeing Agron and Duckable do it as well here coming up after they grab the first 2 mins in Moon here. Or the first 3, actually, my bad. And now we're going to be seeing the final escape sequence of main game. This is where main game comes to an end. I don't think we're going to be seeing any 2DSS from any runners here, unfortunately, but I guess I should mention it anyway during this down moment. 2DSS or 2D skip, or 2D section skip, I guess, either one. Lets you skip over this 2D section that we're going to see our runners enter using some precise platforms on the outer part of the 2D section where the wall drops away. You'll see the wall drop away here while they're doing the 2D section, and all of those parts on the wall kind of have a collision on the outside, and you can kind of scale the wall. If you want to see this trick, I know for a fact our runners will be doing it tomorrow in the Odyssey LTA showcase.
True.
So if you want to see it there. Lots of Odyssey tonight into tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Dylan's struggling with 2D skip.
Yeah, got it in the end though. You just don't want to die.
Yeah.
And that's As long as you're good.
that saves 2 seconds over doing the intended movement in the 2D section, but if you mess it up, you can die to it, and it is a 45-second time loss.
Yeah, because that puts you all the way back at the beginning of the escape sequence, and that's no fun for anyone.
And Dylan going for pillars here, going into pillars. Getting early pillar there, which is just knocking that pillar off the bat right there, that first one. And if you do that, the rest of the falling meteors should go in your way, and you shouldn't have any of your fireballs get eaten. But yeah, pretty solid pillar room from Dylan there, it looks like. And like we said, Moonskip, Duckable struggling with it a little bit, it looks like. This is definitely one of the tricks where if you don't get it first try, it's very easy to mold on. It looks like Duckable's going for the new Moonskip, actually, the one-wall jump Moonskip, which is beautiful. And that is main game for Dylan done right there in 123.27.
Nice. That's solid.
Dylan's dog. Shout out to Dylan's dog.
We're clapping for the dog, but not for the... Okay.
Priorities.
Speaking of dogs, if you want to see a dog do a speedrun, that's the thing. Look it up.
True.
Peanut
Very
butter.
True.
Best doggo.
Shout out to dogs in general.
We'll be seeing a couple of dog moons in this game, actually.
Oh, that's true. That's here.
Yeah, we actually do see some of those in Darker Side. We're not going to see the one in Mushroom because it's quite slow, but there are some other ones later in the run that we're going to see.
Now, we do expect applause every time we get a dog moon.
Yes. This Mushroom split is actually one of the shortest splits in the entire speedrun, or at least in post-game. We're going to be planting 2 seeds here, talking to Toad, and then grabbing some quick moons inside the castle, and then kind of just leaving. It's kind of just faster for us to do a lot of the mushroom stuff at the very end of the speedrun right before we do Toadette. So we kind of do our post-game setup for mushroom and then kind of get out as fast as we can. I like to think of the split as the Cap Kingdom of post-game. Oh, Dylan missing the seed. What? Did he just roll through it? What was that?
That was strange. I don't know if I've seen that before.
Oh, into a bonk.
Oh yeah, the edge of that fence can just do that. That's really fun. Barely even notice it's there.
And then one of my favorite mushroom moons is this tiles moon here. It has some really cool movement. You're going to be seeing a lot of really fast spin pounds on these tiles.
Yeah, in the regular game, these tiles are kind of like a puzzle, but they are consistently in the same spots every time. So these runners are going to have some very optimized movement here for it.
Yeah, beautiful. Definitely one of the more flashy moons in post-game here.
And while this is happening, we're going to be seeing Duck and Agron entering Escape, going through that sequence. Looking like they're going to get somewhere in the 128 range for main game.
Yeah, not too bad. Definitely all our runners are on very solid sub 330 pace.
Yeah, for sure.
And Dylan entering Snow, like I mentioned earlier, we're going to be grabbing some moons on the outside of Snow before entering into Shiveria. And yeah. Yeah, I did not think that was going to work from Zach there. Zach was like so far away from that spawning platform. So this is the part of post-game where you're going to see the fruits of our labor here with a lot of these really fast moons, just because we set things up right by getting real peace and then planting some of those seeds and all that. So a lot of these moons you're going to be seeing in post-game are very, very fast.
Yeah, this is where things start to pick up, for sure.
Yeah, post-game is definitely the more fun part of Darker Side. Because you kind of just zoom through for the next hour and a half. Beautiful notes of the moon there from Dylan. That's not easy to do.
Nice. Agron having a little bit of trouble with the early pillar there. Probably gonna either, yeah, probably gonna go back around. Or it fell over and I didn't see it, but we'll find out.
Oh, this is going to be a fancy triple jump from Dylan here. Hold on.
There we go.
Beautiful. That was a beautiful timer challenge from Dylan there. Yeah.
Mario's momentum persisting through the cutscene is a really cool thing that happens in this game.
Duckable and Agron kind of like almost in sync here going into post game. And yeah.
Yeah.
That is main game done for all 4 of our runners.
127s for both.
Yeah, nice. Did Dylan switch to Joy-Cons there?
Yep.
What?
Oh, wow.
Oh, I didn't even know that was a thing. Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing.
That is some swag.
I'd never seen someone do a Joy-Con down throw for that fish capture before. That's a first.
On this game, when you're using a Pro Controller, which is what most players play with, generally, you can do pretty much everything except down throws. Because when you shake down with the controller, that just does a regular cap throw. And down throws are only possible on motion control down throws are only possible on Joy-Cons. So, and those, they're not, thankfully, that doesn't end up being too useful in a lot of places in most categories. But there are some little things. And yeah, pulling at the hybrid setup is a really flashy strap.
Especially on the big stage where dropped inputs are a lot higher.
Oh, yeah.
With all 4 of our runners running here at the same time because we're running on Bluetooth. The Switch is not great at that, unfortunately.
Yeah. Adding more wireless technology to the mix only increases the chances of error.
Yeah, if you don't run Odyssey, you wouldn't know, but dropped inputs in this game are a huge pain. They are way more prevalent than they should be for the Nintendo Switch, but yeah, it's definitely something you have to look up for, and adding more controllers into the mix definitely ups your chances of that happening. And then doing some flashy little triple jump here to grab this moon fast while the stair is over on the right side, and then doing a cap throw jump, or cap throw dive into a cap return jump to get up to this moon fast. Slightly different movement than we would see in any percent because of the added in extra moon, but we can kind of make the same cycle anyways with this Billy Joey.
So yeah, interestingly enough, this is the only out of the 4 sub areas here in the snow where we still have to spawn the moon ourselves.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in the other sub areas, we're gonna see that rather than having to, because we flipped out of bounds and completed World Peace early, the game just kind of spawns the story moons automatically. Rather than making you go through what you normally have to go through. Like, for example, in this sub-area...
Yeah, this sub-area is a perfect example.
There's a whole ice Rango boss fight that you'd have to do to get the story moon, and it's just a pain. But as we're going to be seeing in a second here from Dylan, it's just there. It's just chilling.
Dylan doing a great job of showcasing how annoying this moon is. Getting around the corner with all that snow in your face is a huge pain, and just not losing your speed or not bonking is... very difficult. Getting that movement clean is not fun.
Yeah, it was very satisfying to see the TAS of that came out recently. Feels like revenge.
I actually have not seen that. Maybe I should check that out.
Totally.
Yeah. And something I want to shout out here that Zach's going to go for that we didn't shout out for Dylan. Oh, he missed it. But what Dylan did that we didn't shout out is that you want to try to keep one of those spawnies alive so this camera doesn't pan as much with this story man, and you save like a second or two. Sort of what we're doing with the first persons, but with spawning manipulation instead. And then this is another room where you're going to see the Stormwind just out for free. It is kind of interesting to note that if you're in Odyssey view, you would know in any percent we do the Goomba room. But in this category, it's just too slow. The third moon just isn't fast enough.
Yeah, that last room is just nothing we can really do there.
Yeah, you can only get 2 of the 3 fast, so it's not really worth going to that Goomba room in this category. Oh, Agron missing that timer challenge, having to back it up.
Aggron and Duck, still very close here.
Yeah.
That has remained true so far.
And we're going to be seeing Dylan to finish up the Snow 2 Kingdom here. Just going to be grabbing this moon, one moon in the crate room here, and then warping and doing a trip called Blowy Noe, where you kind of do a backflip into a specific cap bounce to get enough height to get up to the painting platform without the Blowy Joey.
Yeah, there you usually hope that you hold out Cappy and it gets all the boxes, but we can't have nice things.
Yeah, it's kind of finicky.
It's a weird thing to get right. And yeah, Dylan's going to be going up into Blowy Noe, like you said. Hopefully this works.
Yeah, wall jump.
Nice.
Variant. Yeah, first try.
Big fan of wall jump, personally.
That trick is very finicky, and it's very easy to kind of get stuck there, sort of like the other roll cancel clips like I was mentioning earlier.
Not going to be heading right on into Cascade 2 here. Meanwhile, Duck unfortunately diving over that moon twice in a row. Sometimes the gust just takes you way too high.
Yeah. We're going to be seeing, I don't know how new it is, but we're going to be seeing a sort of different Cascade 2 route where we're going to not be using the Dino to get the rock or anything. We're going to be doing this timer challenge up here early. But Dylan didn't have the height for it, so he's going to drop down to get Toad and then do a backflip up to the moon rock. And then do the timer challenge in the Floating Isles moon. Oh, that was a beautiful timer challenge by Dylan.
Nice. And we're going to be seeing Zach going up to Blowy Noe here as well. Nice, perfect. Two for two.
Oh, Duckable taking a death on the poison.
Yeah. Yeah, that can get you sometimes. Yeah, you'll see the wind in this poison room can be really finicky from the Blowy Berries here. You'll see at the beginning there, Duck knocked the cap off of one of them, and that was just to stun it so it stopped blowing the wind. Because if you're in the line of that wind, there's no coming back for you. Like it's over.
Duckable trying to keep that one spiny alive, but not quite nailing it.
Zach having to do a little circle on Dino Skip, but he's fine.
And this is kind of what I was talking about earlier with Zach's screen here. Having to come up to grab these 2 minutes before the moon rock just to get them done early. And you kind of saw Dylan do a capture the chain jump there. Like I said, that's for the Toad achievements later in the run.
Unfortunate bonk there from Aggron. That's way more common than you'd probably imagine. It's super easy to...
No, unfortunate death by Dylan there.
Yeah. Yeah, Cloud sub-area will get you.
When this sub-area goes right, it is definitely very satisfying. This is definitely one of the best sub-areas in the game.
Yeah, I have to agree. It's super cool.
Definitely has some of the most flashy movement out of any sub-area. And nailing it there, and the Sharwane bounce strat there, second try. Into the Cloud boost triple jump.
Duck also having trouble getting up to this chess moon here. It can be deceivingly tricky. Yeah, and we saw it, we did see it earlier, but I don't think we said anything about it. That triple jump to that cloud, just skipping all the other clouds, super cool.
Oh, Zach going for the moon clip there.
Oh, unfortunate.
I don't know if you can actually clip out of bounds there, but I know doing a moon clip at least gets you a little bit of height.
Yeah.
So you can do faster inputs.
Don't take my word for it, but I feel like you can go out of bounds, and you do go like you would go like right back in bounds, but that's a fun little thing to go for. Just passing through the ceiling.
There's a lot of little small things like that moon clip that Zach said he's going to go for, so kind of cool to see.
Yeah, for sure. Duck having to chase the moon lump around, just the
Oh,
classic. I mean, what can I say? Just absolute all-timer of this game is the moon lump. It's similar to the bunnies. You gotta chase it all over the place. Nice. Dylan getting
that moon first try. That moon's very finicky and can definitely go wrong.
Yeah. That's one of the more infamous ones, especially for beginners. Like when people give you a route and say you should run darker, that's like maybe the one thing they'll mention to you that's like kind of true. I mean, there are much harder things, but like that one, it can just kind of not work and you have no idea why. That's the real issue with it. Nice. Agron being able to get up there to the Blowy Noe platform without a vault. That's the nice thing about wall jump. You get enough height that even if you don't get a vault, if you're careful and maximize your height efficiently, then you can still get up there. And normally with other strats, you're depending on getting that vault off the wall, which is just super inconsistent. Well, I mean, not super inconsistent, but it can be finicky is what I'm saying.
And then one of these, this upcoming moon here, these next 2 moons, we're seeing kind of post-game setup paying off with this tourist, and then into the Lake Kingdom Hidden Art moon. Both of these we set up in main game, so we could go them super fast in post-game because they're just kind of in our path.
Yeah, we're transitioning into a state where a lot of these moons are just gonna be in the way. Like, we're just taking very clean loop throughout the kingdom and just racking them up.
And then these last 2 moons here before heading to the Bowser's Kingdom painting. This timer challenge that Dylan just overthrew somehow, and then the Grandpa Moon in the water here.
You notice Zach 207? I don't know why I said the numbers. Oh my god. You notice Zach is getting the getting a moon from Peach there. We also saw that in Snow. That's in a lot of these kingdoms. It's fast because you just talk to Peach and she's like, it's so cool in this new scenery, and she gives you a moon. So. And
we're seeing Zach opt for the Lake Clip route, and the reason I know that is because he's putting on the pirate outfit. So we're going to be seeing some of the outfit moon showcased on Zach's side here. So we're going to see some outfit changes, which is fun. We're putting on that pirate outfit specifically for our moon in Lake Kingdom. That's quite fast, but it kind of only works out if you do the Lake Clip, I believe. Or the outfit clip.
Yeah, picking up some quick coins there. That's just one of the places where there are oodles of coins waiting to be collected. You just happen to run into those. You don't really have to go out of your way in this category.
And then Dylan going for that vector, and then you saw him shake his head because he shook his controller during the moon animation there, or right before it, and that lets you stay inside the wire instead of having to recapture it, saving a couple of seconds. It's definitely a little bit finicky to get, but it's definitely really satisfying when you get it there.
Zach is going to be heading into Bowser's as well. Differences in time between these runners are starting to ramp up seemingly. So it'll be interesting to maybe see some different things going on at different times.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to. Ooh, unfortunate death from Duck there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that just looks like a what we call a chaos dive, which is where you get your a dive requires 2 inputs, a ZR or a ZL, and then a Y. And a chaos dive is where it drops the Y, and you either have to dive super. Oh, that's unfortunate. You either have to dive super slowly, or you just ground pound, which is a really fun thing.
Yeah, you get the full ground pound animation. How could Chaos Pringle invent dives? How rude.
Duck able to narrowly make it around that platform this time, thankfully.
And you're kind of seeing this same technique used during this moon that Dylan just grabbed with the shaking during the moon, and it lets you kind of turn around there and go backwards while having to do the full lap of the wire there. And then this moon is infamous for being a very big pain in the butt. It's very annoying.
Yeah.
Oh, I like the heart technique.
Yeah, grabbing the heart, so you don't have to deal with the heart refill animation here on this moon.
You don't really get too much trouble from enemies in this game, but I gotta say, Spinies,
Yeah.
oh my, like,
They'll get you.
they're not too common, but they're so annoying.
Yeah,
Just
because
no
there's
good way around
no
it.
real way to kill them. Other, you just have to knock them back,
Yeah.
and they just kind of get in your way. Cappy doesn't really do a great job of knocking them back at all, so that moon in particular showcases that perfectly. It's very hard to get that moon clean. This is probably the #1 moon you'll see in the route that is just messed up, 'cause it's just very difficult.
Got the note strat from
Yeah.
Dylan there. That was sick. Normally, I think you're just supposed to go back and forth, but like you can use the Pokio mechanics to just get all of them in one swoop, pretty much. Maybe 2 swoops, 1 or 2.
And we're seeing a camera manip from Dylan here to keep the bird off camera, so you can kind of grab him instantly with Cappy here.
Okay, Aggron's fine. We're fine. We're fine.
Dylan's also fine. That was really close.
Nothing to see here.
Zach doing a good job of this note spin. That was beautiful, yeah. You would think walking with Mario would be slow in this game, but right there it kind of just paid off for him. Oh, into a vault. Beautiful. And I believe that skips the wall jump. Yeah. That was clean. And Dylan kind of finishing off Bowser's here at this final little chunk, grabbing the bunny and then going over to the showdown arena after this horn.
Yeah, we're gonna, as you can see, after the mech battle, same area, but everything's just, there's more stuff to do, which is common in this game.
And then this upcoming moon right here, this grandpa moon, it's very easy to mess up if you don't get the location quite right. But Dylan knowing it there. Once those birds kind of leave, that's kind of your most runner's visual cue with the birds. Once they leave, if you don't get down the first ground pound, you don't really have a visual cue to back it up anymore. You kind of have to use your rumble.
Nice. I don't know if we've mentioned that, but if you long jump right into the edge of the pipe, you just go down it and skip the pipe animation.
That
it's
one-
it's a tiny thing, but it always looks so nice. That
one,
always gets me.
That one in particular is quite difficult because the camera does fight with you there.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And this sub area, you'll notice a bunch of these P switches. Just don't worry about it.
Yeah, the intended way.
We're good.
Yeah, the intended way is garbage. Just do that. And with that, we're going to be grabbing the Invader Moon and then leaving Bowser's here as we're going into Seaside. Oh, dropped inputs on Dylan's screen. Look at that.
Oh. Yeah, lots of setups here can maybe cause issues sometimes, but I don't think we've had too many input
Yeah.
issues compared to how it normally is. You know, it's already usually pretty bad.
Yeah. And another one of these moons coming up here that we set up during main game, the Seed Moon. Dylan did miss that checkpoint, but I believe he should have enough anyway, so shouldn't have to worry about it. sea moon right here. Oh no, Zach showcasing exactly what I said. Zach unable to find the moon in the showdown arena.
Oh no.
Yes, this is exactly what I mentioned. Well, if you don't get on that first spin bound, it is just gone.
Find the triangle. I forget how it works.
This is a moon where if I miss it, I just warp and just skip this entire scenario.
Might be smart, yeah.
You make the triangle with the birds. So
Yeah.
Now that the birds are gone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right.
There it is. Huge.
Let's go!
Huge. Did Dylan mess up the bird there? Or the butter? I saw, or was that the story moon? I just saw a gray moon, sorry, I got confused.
Possibly, yeah.
It might have been the story moon, I got a little bit distracted there. It's hard for me to keep my eye on all four of these runners at the same time.
Those birds are on cycles all throughout the level. So the routing is intentionally designed so that you'll run into them at the correct spots. But sometimes things can go a little awry if you make mistakes before the bird is, before where the bird is and the route, and that can kind of mess up your cycle. In some cases, it's worse than others, but you know, completely fine for Dylan there.
And then Dylan also showcasing this newest seaside route that I mentioned earlier. Typically we would go, after that moon, we would go all the way over to the Luncheon Kingdom Art, but we replace it with wriggling in the sandy bottom here.
Yeah, Doug needing to back up those notes a little bit, but thankfully it gives you plenty of time. It's very lenient for getting the moon at all.
And then Dylan going into a very annoying 2D section here. This 2D section, it is very easy for it to go wrong. This is definitely one of the more annoying ones in the game. Lots of very hard 2D movement here.
Agron is not finding the triangle.
Oh no,
It's
we're having
left.
another meltdown. Oh, it's cursed.
Like a little up left. Keep going, keep going. You got it?
It's just so over.
You're close. Okay, getting warmer. Yeah,
Yeah, huge.
there we go. Let's go.
And then Dylan using the shell to grab some of the notes, but it does not work out in his favor, unfortunately. That shell did not cooperate, and this is kind of what I'm saying with this 2D section being very annoying and very difficult. And then we also have to keep in mind that Dylan only hit one of the three invisible blocks down there, so hopefully he can land on it here. Beautiful.
Nice. That
Yeah.
yeah, wow. Oh, that that would scare me, but yeah. These runners know what they're doing for sure.
Definitely a little bit of a time to only hit one of the three there. You can kind of get out of there a little bit sooner, but
Yeah,
a
definitely.
little bit of a risk. And Dylan should be going for a trick here called a fish dip, where he's going to be using the chest to clip out of bounds here. Bonking twice. Looking like he's struggling with the setup a little bit. I don't know if that's going to work now.
Yeah, not quite.
And fish dip, what it would let us do is clip out of bounds and then go over to this secret moon here a little bit faster and stay out of bounds without having to go through the actual tunnel. And then you can kind of take a tighter line over to Dangerous Ceiling here after this moon. But we will still be seeing some out of bounds action here after this moon, and then Babylonian Northern reaches. We'll be doing a much easier out of bounds clip known as fish clip.
Second try from Duckable, best so far. Wait,
That's like
maybe I
a
wasn't paying
year
attention.
time save from Duckable.
I didn't see. There was one other person who I didn't see how they did it.
Yeah. But yeah, right after this one, like I was saying, Dylan's going to be doing a trick called Fish Clip. This is probably if you're learning this game as a beginner, this is definitely one of the tricks you should learn first. It is very easy. All you have to do is drop the fish there, run back, uncapture, cap throw, and then you're out of bounds. Like,
There you go.
yeah, it's very easy to clip out of bounds there.
This game is a little broken.
And then you can kind of grab this moon and then the Sphinx moon here, nice and easy without having to do the Sphinx quiz.
Yeah. It's incredible how many things you can skip just by going out of bounds and going to the loading zone that is active for whatever reason.
And I want to mention that Agron is doing this chess moon the intended way. I don't know if we caught it. I think Zach may have done a rule cancel out of bounds there. I forgot to check. But he did say he was going to be going for a roll cancel there to get to that chess moon a little bit faster. There's a surface clip you can do.
If there are any 64 enjoyers in the chat, that chest order is a certified Super Mario 64 reference.
And Dylan going to be finishing off Seaside here and going into Wooded. Which starts the hardest stretch of 3 post-game kingdoms that people always say in Darker Side, Wooded, Sand, and Metro. All 3 of them are very long at like around 12 minutes apiece, I believe, and have a lot of very hard movement and are all very, very punishing.
Yeah, these kingdoms are so demanding that when runners are doing like partial segment practice, they will just do like Wooded Sand Metro runs. And there's a lot of other segment practice you can do in Darker, but I know that's one that runners do fairly often, just because it's got a lot of hard stuff in it, but also lots of cool stuff in it. So.
And like I said, this painting that Dylan's about to go into is going to spew us out at the top of Wooded Kingdom, so we're just going to be doing the boss immediately because we have yet to do it. And it's kind of just our best opportunity to do a torque drift is right here because we're right next to him. Looks like Zach is struggling with fish dip too, unfortunately not able to get it. Dylan, did you forget a moon there? Another instance where we're going to be skipping over it right over the top of a moon and coming back for it later.
Yeah. Alright, let's see these targets. Beautiful.
Beautiful, yeah, that was
Beautiful.
very clean. He even shot a backup shot there and didn't even need it.
Yeah. Yeah, so Dylan is going to be entering Torque Drift here. Rare case where we're going to be getting World Peace here after main game. Not entirely sure why, but yeah, it is faster to leave it for here.
Yeah, just because that painting puts us right next to the top, so we don't have to do the movement up to the top.
Makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
As the rest of our runners continue to progress through Seaside.
Dylan showcasing a strat in this boss called Speeding Up Boy, where you kind of just do a jump off of the edge of the spawning platform there, and then you can kind of just maintain speed the entire fight by doing these hops. As you can see, the upper is moving quite fast for Dylan there.
And we have these scary red lasers that are going to be going through the course. I'm so scared. If you know how to jump over them, they are pretty harmless. Oh, 7 this time. Oh.
Yeah, this boss fight is a little bit of a drag. Unfortunately, that's not too exciting of a boss. It's just kind of the same thing 3 times over.
Yeah. The reason you'll see runners staying closer to the edge of the bubble there is if you hit it in the middle of the bubble, if you upward into it in the middle, you can easily just clip out of bounds. Like, it'll push you down through the floor and you'll die, which is just, Just splendid.
So much fun.
Oh, Mulan knows about that, right?
Was
Oh, man.
One of those instances where we want to avoid going out of bounds, which I can't even believe is a thing at all.
Yeah. The main instance it happens is actually right underneath Torque Drift there in the middle. Oh no, Dylan messing up any percent movement. For some reason in this category, that very easy any percent movement just becomes very difficult for no reason, just because it's like over 2 hours deep.
Yeah, no, it happens for sure.
You just get in your head about it 2 hours deep for no reason. Oh, Dylan showcasing the route too. Okay, Dylan opting to put on the pirate outfit here and put it instead.
Nice.
I guess it doesn't really matter what when you put on the outfit, as long as it's before like 2. Oh no, I just realized Agron having to do the Sphinx quiz.
Oh no. I guess clipping back in
Yeah.
bounds. Yeah.
Oh no, he doesn't know the answer.
Oh no. It might be over, chat.
Oh,
Oh wait, no, he knows.
there you go.
Oh wait, he had to. It's 1. Sorry, for whatever reason I got it mixed up with the ones that have multiple. But thankfully there's only 1 question there, so he just tried all of them,
Yeah.
and that's simple enough.
Is this a new order now?
I don't think so.
I don't typically recall doing this move now.
I feel like I've definitely seen that before. Oh, that's cool though. Wow, using the flower road to your advantage.
Yeah, kind of like in Almonds there. Almonds also does that.
Nice.
And this entire time we should mention that Dylan is on a timer for this bird here. There's going to be a bird Dylan's going to be trying to grab. And as long as he does this movement really fast, he can grab it right before firing the cave.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tighter bird cycle.
Yeah.
The one we saw in Seaside is much more lenient than this.
Yeah, because you want to kind of grab it as fast as you can. Do this movement as fast as you can so you can kind of grab the bird midair is the idea. So we'll see if he goes for that strat or not. And this timer is not over yet because he still has to grab this timer challenge around the corner here. Luckily, this timer challenge is quite easy. And then we'll see if Dylan goes for the risky bear grab here. Oh. Inputs. It looks like he is. Beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah. You can grab that bird moon all the way over here. And then it puts you right next to fire in the cave.
Agron is going to be heading into wooded as well now.
And Dylan entering into Brinktow Road. This is one of those rooms that's reused in the Dark Side Kingdom, but is much easier here because you still have Cappy. Oh no, Agron's trying to targets.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
I've definitely done that one before.
Yeah. There will definitely be times where you totally think you hit it and you totally did not.
And then Dylan doing this triple jump over this nut here.
And looks like all of our runners are gonna be in wood now.
Yep.
At varying points.
Getting the instant capture on that tank there, very nice. And then one shot for that box, beautiful.
Just as an aside, by the way, any purple coins you see runners collect in this category are incidental. They're just in the way. You don't need them for any like Toadette goal or anything. Not in darker because it would just be too slow.
Okay, we're gonna be seeing the infamous toad jump here. on Dylan's screen here, where you got to take the rocket flowers and then jump over to Toad here with a big vector, so you don't have to take Glidon over. Very nicely done by Dylan there. And another one of those Peach moons. This is another moon where we'll get rewarded by Toadette later in the run for talking to Peach a handful of times. And then we're going to be seeing Dylan do the two kind of jump off the edge of the map here moons.
Right.
These moons there are like intended ways. There's like a spinning platform maze you're supposed to do, or kind of like platforming you're supposed to do, but it's just a lot easier to just jump off the edge of the map here on the top of the observation deck.
Yeah, it's cool how interesting the movement in this game remains, despite skipping so much of like the intended platforming. Using this slight hill here to get enough height to trigger that Goomba moon with 7 Goombas. Yeah, fun little thing there with that moon that Zach just did, that Dylan did like 30 seconds ago or something. You can dive out of a ground pound whenever you want. You can you can be ground pounding for like 5 seconds and dive, which is pretty funny.
And something interesting to note here coming up on Zach's screen, I think he's going to go for it after this Goombat moon here with this dead end nut. We're going to be seeing him attempt a moon clip, I believe, to get into the robot storeroom a little bit early.
Oh, that might be cool. Lots of moon clips have been discovered somewhat recently.
Yeah. So we'll see if he goes for it here. Looks like he is. I don't know if that's in or not.
Too far away from the wall.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
And Dylan doing the floating pipeway summary right here. Nice and clean. And speaking of flooded pipeway, this is going to be another instance where we're going to be seeing Zach go for another one of those triple jump moon clips.
Yep.
On the first secret moon there. So right after this high in the cave moon, Zach's going to go into the flooded pipeway sub area and attempt the triple jump moon clip. And on Dylan's screen, I mentioned this not earlier, he's grabbing it during the timer challenge just because it doesn't lose time then. Oh, that's a bomb.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Nice.
I believe that works by Zach. 2 for 2 on the moon clips. Beautiful.
Nice.
2 for 2 on the triple clips. Oh, almost entered the pipe. Beautiful. That is very, very clean from Zach. It's very hard to nail both of those in one run.
For sure.
Dylan pulling out the Joy-Cons once again.
Oh, did he? I missed it.
To get the hat on his character.
I saw his face cam, but I didn't really see the gameplay. I just kind of assumed. And then Zach showcasing a very cool sub area here with the poison plants. I believe Dylan did not do this room, if I'm recalling correctly. Dylan opted not for this room. But this is definitely one of my more favorite rooms in the game. One thing Darker does very good is showcase all the fun sub areas.
Yeah, definitely.
There's like really no bad sub areas that you do in Darker.
Yeah, some of them.
Oh, duckable.
Not quite enough distance. That is really easy to do.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about with this moon right here in the air. Typically, you would grab it after the sub area now, but I guess Dylan's doing a different route. And then something we should also mention on Dylan's screen here, as soon as you enter Sand Kingdom, you are on a bird cycle, and you have to do all this movement very clean to grab this bird. And just barely making it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Coming in clutch there for sure.
Yeah, if you make like one too many movement mistakes there, it is very easy to miss that bird, as you saw. That was just like on the brink of being too slow.
Doug is not going to be on good terms with this moon after this run, I have to say.
Oh, did she miss it again?
There we go.
Beautiful. And then while we're doing all this town moons here, Dylan's kind of on a dog cycle here. As you see in the distance over that hill on the middle of the screen, the dog's kind of trying to walk over to that moon and then jigging it up, which is why we have to keep the camera pointed towards this way so the dog's on screen and can dig up the moon. And as you see, it's just there waiting for us. Claps for the dog moon.
Thank you.
This is also one of my more favorite parts of the run because we get music during it. We get some jammin' music from the Jammin' Toad there. So we get good music the entire time we're traversing this kingdom. Dylan doing a camera minute here for the platform cycle coming up with the Goomba, just so we can get across it a little bit faster.
Right, that's one of those things in this game. Just little things like that you think wouldn't really affect anything, but yeah. Lots of camera-based cycles.
And Dylan going for the boost off the stairs there to get a lot of speed into Goombet there.
That was clean.
Yeah, that was very clean. Dylan's kind of just playing really well in postgame here. This is a very clean postgame from Dylan. I've seen very, very few mistakes.
Oh, Duck getting the getting the moon there just barely. Gonna wait for Cappy to come back. Yeah, that was clutch.
And I guess another thing we should mention with the camera is here, we're trying to manipulate the camera in a specific way here to keep the, what do you call it, the Jaxie Ruins bird in a specific spot after we grab Jaxie here. After we kind of grab this pillar moon, and then we grab a box on the edge of the map, and then we're going to be doing a trick known as reverse Jaxie to get on top of Jaxie Ruins without using the bullet bill. And this entire time we're keeping the camera in a specific way to keep the bird in a specific spot for this upcoming moon with the timer challenge. So we can kind of chain timer challenge, that island moon, and then the bird all together nice and cleanly.
Looks like Zach is going to be finishing up wooded here. So yeah, Agron is also going to be entering a bird cycle. It's going to be the last one of our runners to have to deal with that.
And as you can see, that bird is right next to that timer moon because of the camera manipulation Dylan did. So we're able to spawn it, grab this timer moon, and then run right through it before heading over to the cactus.
Yeah, setting things up really nicely there. Looks like Agron opting to get the bird moon out of the way before the timer challenge. Very respectable.
Yeah, that moon could definitely go south if you're a little bit too slow.
Oh wait, no, that was a I don't know what I was. I am not sure what I was thinking about there.
Yeah, okay. Another fish moon here from Dylan. This one can definitely go wrong. But I believe there's kind of like a spot in this in this little pond here where if your rod is in the wrong spot, the fish just won't see it. It's kind of weird, a little bit glitchy. But it works out good there for Dylan. Oh, beautiful spin throw for those notes. Oh yeah, those are really clean notes.
right, so Dylan's going to be heading down into this 2D section here. I think there's a cool cycle you can hit here with the notes
Yeah,
moon.
I believe we should be seeing Dylan go for it. It's really tight, though, for sure. So Dylan saving this last note there so he can grab the moon and then immediately land on this top bill on the bottom here.
Hopefully, it'll
Yeah.
be just enough height to land on it.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then you can kind of skip that cycle there and make it up to the secret moon nice and fast.
Yeah, getting on those slow-moving platforms with the bullet bills is a plus, because otherwise you have to go all the way around and potentially even wait. Oh, Agron missing the timer challenge moon by like a frame. That was unfortunate. Gonna have to just warp back and reactivate it. Oh. Duck not being able to redirect her angle and just having to work back up. Agron going for an interesting strat here. Looking to backflip right up onto that blue platform. Not going for it again after the first try.
And this moon right here that Dylan's grabbing is the whole reason we go to Wooded first at main game. It's just because we have to look at that hint art before we arrive here in Sand 2.
Oh, unfortunate.
Yeah.
Not entirely sure what happened there, but yeah, gonna need to go all the way back.
And then Dylan entering into the bullet bill sub here. This is probably the #1 sub area with cheese in the game.
Yeah, so you'll notice lots of bullet bills and a maze. Not quite.
It's the first time I've seen that kind of roll cancel silver jump, but that was kind of fancy.
Right, but surely we'll use this bullet bill. Oh, no, we're going. Okay. You know, fair enough. I don't know why, I don't know why they put the ceiling there. They could have just made it go all the way up, but like, we're not complaining. We certainly are not complaining about that.
And Dylan doing a very easy timer out of bounds clip here where you can kind of clip out of bounds with the timer and roll right to the end of it.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I think Agron just missed the bird cycle in sand.
Oh.
I'd have to back that up somehow.
Yeah, just get some sort of backup moon. Unless Agron grabbed it in Sand 1. I wasn't sure if I saw Agron grab that bird in Sand 1 or not. And then Dylan intentionally capturing the Moai there because we need it for the Toadette achievement.
And here we're going to be seeing another hint art moon in a seemingly random spot, but that is a hint art that we looked at in Bowser's.
Yeah.
So that's a nice one.
And then Dylan doing this timer challenge here. It would be a tragedy if he died during it.
That would be a shame.
Okay, good. You look like he's able to grab it. Dylan, what are you doing? No!
Oh,
it's so over!
I can't believe it, guys.
No, it's so over. That's like 10 minutes.
so that's gonna be, I think the last of the death warps that we do here. I think there's just 2. Unless I'm forgetting something. And we're immediately gonna follow that up with a really cool dram here, hopefully. Let's see.
Yeah, I believe that works.
Let's go. Yeah.
That saves quite a bit of time because if you don't get that, you have to go all the way around and back up. So that's a very important jam shot to hit.
Yeah, getting in the quicksand there and having to climb is not fun.
And then on to the third and last of these really hard and long kingdoms, which is Metro 2.
Getting the moon where you have to curate Toad's playlist, and if he likes it enough, he'll give you a moon. Fun one.
Did Tuck enter the pipe there?
Yes.
What happened?
She missed the bird.
Oh, okay, I see. So she's going to go over and hit the dog again here and then get the dog started.
And then hopefully the bird will arrive just in time.
I see, yeah. That's a pretty smart backup. You're seeing Dylan do a lot of these dram strategies here where he kind of, while a moon is spawning in, he kind of jumps over to the side and throws Cappy out to home into something after the moon.
Quick fling all the way across the side of the map into that round pound moon here. Poles in Metro are pretty nice for speedrunning. You can get a lot of momentum from them instantly.
They're also just everywhere.
Yeah, there are a lot of poles. There's a category extension speedrun just for capturing all the poles in Metro. It's a fun one. And yeah, gonna be getting that hidden hat and seek moon in and still making the cycle easily here. There's plenty of time.
And then this island coming up here, we're kind of on a little bit of a cycle with the bird as well. Where we kind of multitask the dog and the bird here. Doggo.
We got it. Not quite yet. We got to trigger the coins. See, before it gets to the moon, for some reason.
And then Dylan going for a drum strike here with the pylon while the moon spawns in. Ah, that always happens.
Oh man.
Yeah, that dog always eats Cappy.
I forgot. I forgot that happens. That's so stupid.
Yeah. Cappy never really wanting to home into the right thing there.
Aggron might be able to wait a little bit to get this. Is that gonna work? Yeah, no, barely. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm a
nice.
doubter. Okay. I was proven wrong. I'm sorry. Getting able to damage
Dylan cutting
boost.
the corners, beautiful.
Yeah,
Micro optimization. That is very easy to go wrong. And then we're gonna kind of just ditch the scooter here, grab the spoon, and then go back for it for the scooter moon down here. And then another really good set react coming up here. This one's really quick. This one's kind of like a blink and you miss it kind of moment. We're in and out here.
Yeah, this one goes by fast. This is a fun one because you can.
Yeah.
Oh, that's unfortunate. But yeah, this is a fun one because you can really optimize this movement. But if you don't want to, then it's a really simple set area, which applies to everything in this game. This is a great example of it.
Now you're going to be going into another, I guess you could call it bird cycle. It's not really one. You kind of just do some mid-air movement to put Mario in the perfect position to spawn in this bird moon and then grab it after grabbing the mid-air moon. Perfectly landing on that street light there. Just grab the bird. Into another very satisfying sub area, which is bullet building. This one is definitely higher on the end in terms of difficulty.
Yeah, for sure. There's a number of like slightly different things you can do here that if you don't know what you're looking at, you wouldn't even know are different.
Yeah.
But yeah, the main goal is to just up throw, hold Cappy out, so he stays there, captures the bullet bill, and you can get all the way across.
And Dylan actually getting a little bit lucky there that the building crashed into the platform there, so he saved a little bit of time. And then Dylan in the final stretch of Metro 2 here. Just a couple more minutes left and then we're on to Lake.
Yeah, looks like Duck is going to be hitting that note cycle as well. Unfortunately, going to be having to wait for those moving platforms. As we were saying, they're very slow. So if you get caught in a bad cycle, it's kind of annoying. But getting up there at all is a plus for sure.
Dylan going for a scooter clip there and nailing it. Did we not get Metro Shop here? I guess
I don't think so.
I thought that was in the route.
I think it's used as a backup.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, Dylan making sure.
Oh, yes. Dylan going for the core strat. Love to see it.
Oh.
That strat's awesome
Right.
for this timer challenge. Beautiful.
Just skipping the whole thing. That's a cool one. It's a fan favorite.
And then this moon right here is the one you would get with Giggler if you hit the out of bounds in net Metro. But Dylan happened to grab the moon now. Nope, Dylan messing up the Spenso slots there, but a very clean backup. That lost like just nothing.
Yeah, no big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, Agron getting a bonk that didn't even look like a bonk, which is it can be. The bonk radius is like a little bit outside of what Mario's hitbox looks like, so there can be some finicky situations for sure.
Oh my god, he died!
Also losing 10 years.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Everyone's runs are just over. Dylan getting Lake Fish here very fast. This is probably the most finicky fish in the game. So this one's very easy for it to ever go wrong.
Oh yeah, Agron going just a little too early on that capture. Gonna be maybe trying again with this bullet bill? I'm not sure.
No,
yeah,
no,
no,
he
because
just-
you need to knock the cap off
Yeah.
first.
So Agron showing off why that jump shot saves a lot of time. You're skipping all this movement.
Right.
So like I mentioned earlier, this Lake 2 kingdom is going to be a kingdom we see different routes for Dylan and Zach, because Zach went for the triple jump wing clip there in Lake 1. So we're going to be seeing a little bit different routing here in Lake 2. We're going to be seeing Dylan showcase the Poison Wave sub area, and we're going to be seeing Zach showcase a different route.
We will be seeing Lake outfit clip from all of them.
Yes, for sure. But right now, this right here, this Poison Wave sub area is my favorite sub area in the game, I think. It is just, when it goes right, it is so beautiful. Just truly showcasing what you can do with Mario's moveset here. So hopefully Dylan can nail it. Doing a long jump into a triple jump here to skip over this first half of the sub area. And then doing a roll boost into another triple jump to skip the second half of the sub area all the way over to this very far platform. And then grabbing the key. And he's going to be very tight here because he got a side flip instead of a normal jump, but that'll work out, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, just barely.
Yeah, and then even skipping the wall jump there too. Beautiful. That was a beautiful Poison Wave sub area, showcasing exactly why I love it.
Yeah, any touching the poison there at all, and you're just instantly back to the beginning, so difficult one there for sure. Dylan getting another timer challenge, which is hardly a challenge at this point. Yeah, so you'll see there, Zach went for a slightly different variation of bullet building, where not entirely sure how it works, but because he did something with the camera at the beginning, he was able to go further forward, bounce off one of those bullet bills to get the top one. It does save a little bit of time. So, one of those interesting little variations.
And then Dylan going for the Lake Alpha clip here, which is a roll cancel clip. This one's pretty tight. And then the out of bounds movement afterwards is also difficult. So hopefully he can get the clip here pretty soon. Beautiful. And then doing this movement off the pillar here is definitely really hard too. So that was a clean alpha clip.
Nice.
That could have been a lot worse. And then Dylan showcasing a camera clip here with this moon. You can kind of just turn the camera around and then peek in on the lady and talk to her from outside the wall. That saves a lot more time in Darker than it would in a category like any percent, because you don't have to come back out. Believe it or not, in any percent, I believe that only saves 0.01.
I think, I don't know. I've heard from top runners that it's a bit more than we thought it was initially, but I don't know. I didn't do the math.
Oh no, Zach messing up the fast trap for that Metro timer. Yeah, that is the unfortunate part of that.
Oh, I didn't see. I thought Aggro missed the bird for a second. He's good. He's chilling.
Yeah, that is the unfortunate part of this timer fast strat in Metro. If you miss the strat, you are just simply dead.
Yeah. Yeah. Getting it there, though.
Yep. And then Dylan going into another very hard sub here coming up, jump, grab, clean, climb. Lake Kingdom is just notorious for having two of the hardest fast strats for sub areas in the game. Any death here is very punishing, and the strats are not easy. Going into a motion homing cap throw in there to get the distance he needs to make it all the way over there and skip the wall grab. And then going for the backflip Shirani bounce. Beautiful. That sub area went beautifully. And with that, we are kind of in the home stretch of Painting Chain here. All we have left is this Launching Kingdom, and then we are done with Painting Chain. And like I mentioned earlier, we do split Luncheon Kingdom up into 2 different segments here. We do a Luncheon 2 and a Luncheon 3 visit. So we're going to be seeing like one half of the kingdom, and then we're going to be coming back for the second half later. I don't know exactly why it works out that way, but this is kind of how it's always been.
Yeah, you'd think intuitively that you'd only ever want to revisit a kingdom once, but there's some interesting routing. Alright, looks like Agron is going to be going for that bird as well. Hopefully no tomfoolery here. Looking fine, getting on that lamppost.
And then Zach is showcasing the new like 2 route here that I mentioned. He is not going to be doing the Poison Wave sub area that Dylan did a minute ago there. And Dylan going into a very satisfying sub area, the Forks Room.
Yeah, for sure.
Lots of cool motion control cappy inputs there.
Just flying through the stage.
It looks like one of the moons we replace the Poison Waves with is this Timer Challenge here. And we combo it with Dory nice and cleanly here.
I love how the cycle just works out.
Yeah. This is actually my first time seeing this new like 2 reroute. That is very clean the way it works out. And you kind of just get a fish here and you can do all the underwater moons. And we kind of glanced over it there, but wait, no, it's later, I think. Wait, I'm confused. Did Dylan just come out of the shop there? I think, right?
No, not yet.
Was that the turnip 2? Yeah, okay. So yeah, there was mid-air turnip 2 movement there. Sorry, I got confused on the routing. And another alpha change here from the Mechanics Moon and Luncheon here. Agron struggling with this fast strat a little bit, but looks like that should be okay. Not taking a death at least.
Yeah, Dylan going up and around there. It is possible to use that first cap throw to hit the box and dive on the platform, which is pretty cool, but it's not a big deal at all if you miss it.
And then Zach going into chip grab here.
Duck now getting the bird as well. Gonna have to go back up, but the important thing is that you get the bird at all, which is out of the way. This backup is just annoying.
It's the worst.
You gotta, you really gotta go around. It's just a nightmare. Because you think you're gonna go under the pole, but it just will not work out in your favor.
And then Dylan showcasing another very cool sub-area fast start here. This is top tier as well, probably my second favorite.
Ooh.
VCC, Volcanic Cave cruising. Doing an up throw there into another up throw to get all the way up to that cloud platform and skip the elevator. Beautiful. That was so fast. That was
the up throws.
Yeah, that was beautiful execution.
really cool moon.
Yes.
Something you normally, the intended way is you need a moving platform, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an elevator.
So yeah, just skipping that whole thing. One of the coolest strats in this run, in my opinion.
And with that, we are on to moon dump here for Dylan. Water break.
Yeah, as we're going through the paintings, the moons just stay in your inventory. You'll see with the other runners, there's so many moons, it just turns into dots. I can't even display them all. So, yeah, we get to do a fun little moon dump where they didn't cap this animation. So, however many moons you get is how many moons you're gonna watch go into that blimp or whatever that is.
And at this point, I believe the runners are going into Lost 2. Or at least Dylan is.
Yeah, I believe the order of Lost 2 and Cap 2 is interchangeable.
Yeah, the current PowerPoint says Lost 2 from what I know first, but it really doesn't matter, I don't think. For the longest time, a lot of runners did Cap 2 first, but just recently they switched over to Lost 2. You might save like a little bit of time on menuing there in between kingdoms, but it really doesn't matter.
Dylan almost talking to the toad there now. We're not gonna want to see what that guy has to say. Not gonna be helpful to us.
Looks like Agron should be nailing this fast strat in Poison Waves. Beautiful.
Yeah, plenty of leeway there.
And something we should mention for Dylan, that this Lost 2 Kingdom, it is absolutely brutal. Any death is a huge amount of time lost, and the platforming you're going to see here is very tight. It is very easy to take a death here on any part, especially the Toad into the Lost Shards part. It is very difficult. Dylan not getting the dive ball he wants there.
Yeah, so Dylan going to be doing a strat there where if you, in general, you would need to lure that torpedo over to an angle, or to the side so that it hits the blocks at an angle, because you need to hit the one in the back, and otherwise the one in the front would be in the way. But as we were saying earlier, it's really easy for objects to get unloaded if they're slightly off camera. So if you walk forward far enough and just stand on the ledge there, then the front block will get unloaded, and the torpedo will go flying directly into the back block. So that's a cool little thing there.
And this section right here I was mentioning is very tight platform, as you can see. These platforms are very tiny, and you are directly above Poison the entire time.
Agron also going for the outfit clip here.
Yeah, and Dylan nailing that charge portion perfectly.
Nice. Someone in the crowd is very excited about Agron's outfit clip. I feel you, man. It's a cool trick. It's cool. I feel like I remember the routing implications of that are more complicated than you think they'd be, but I forget exactly how it works. Or I might be thinking of putting on an outfit or something.
Oh, Dylan nailing that torpedo strat perfectly.
Nice.
That's very easy for that to go wrong. That is a very hard strat.
You got to get that down like just barely before it gets in there. There's really not a lot of room there in any situation.
Oh, this is okay. That was a good backup.
Nice.
Dylan missed the bunny there originally on his first pass through, but backed it up very cleanly there and lost a very minimal time to it.
Yeah, it could've been a lot
no,
worse.
that's looked like he was trying to dive into the bunny moon there. That could have been a death, but that was a very clean backup.
Looks like Duck is going to be doing a poison room here as well, doing an intentional delayed dive.
No, Dylan! Brutal. Could not back that up for the life of him. Oh, I have to
It
grab that bunny
happens.
all over again.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate.
And showcasing exactly why this bunny is annoying. It's very hard to get this moon to go right, and Dylan trying to do the setup right there, perfect.
That's probably the first big mistake we've seen from Dylan in a while.
Yeah, I feel like this post game was definitely. I don't know if he was on PB pace going in, but I know if he was on PB pace, this post game up until this mistake would be very satisfactory for him. That would be exactly the type of post game he would be looking for on PB pace up until that mistake. That was beautiful.
We got some fans.
The crowd very active here at 11 p.m. local time.
Much appreciated. Thank you.
What did they say about? I heard something commentary. I couldn't quite hear it.
So Dylan showing off a wonderful trick jump here.
Yes, the moon arc jump. Look like he's going for the long jump variant. Oh, looks like he was trying to skip the
Oh.
rainbow spin too.
That can just happen so easily.
Yeah, I mean he was trying. Typically with the long jump variant, you want to do a rainbow spin there before landing on the sign, but he tried to skip it, and that's kind of why it bit him there.
Yeah, just a very
Yeah.
tight platform there.
Yeah. Looks like there you go. He got it that time.
Oh, Zach accidentally going to dark side.
Oh, did he? Oh no, I missed it.
Oh
no.
my god.
It's so easy to do that. If you
That's the
just
wrong
mash,
category.
yeah, if you just mash the text there, you will end up in dark side instead of lost 2.
Classic.
You know, maybe there is some fast moves there. Who knows? Have you ever checked it out?
Yeah, they're fast if you're okay with doing a 7-minute boss fight before it.
Yeah, so getting to the end here, things are going to diverge a little more. We're seeing all 4 runners in different kingdoms. So lots to keep track of.
And then Aggron doing this turn up 2 movement that I mentioned earlier. Doing that big jump across the gap to get to the second turnip over here by the pot. Nice and fast. We should mention this movement that Dylan's doing right now, this entire time he's on bird cycle again. He's going to be getting a bird right after the notes moon in the fog.
No, the shot moon actually resets the bird cycle.
Oh, is it starting now?
Yeah.
Okay, it's starting now. My bad.
This is still a very tough jump, though, to hit the bird.
Oh, this strat. I forgot this strat was in darker. I thought this was dark side only. Okay. Yeah, beautiful.
Still has to, I mean,
Making it look easy.
Yeah, and then making it all the way over to that hat, just barely. Huge. That strat is very difficult. Yeah, I completely forgot this. I didn't even know that jump was in darker.
Zach also going to be meticulously making his way through the lost shards, taking no chances.
So it looks like Dylan's going to be grabbing just a few more moons here, a couple minutes in the fog before, are those moons routed out now? I guess so.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like
Maybe the bunny? Yeah.
Yeah, the bunny still. But yeah, moving on to what kingdom is it? Moon 2 now?
I think Moon 2.
Yeah.
Is it Moon 2 now? Yeah.
Sounds right.
I'm trying to remember the route. It's been so long since I've seen this part of Dark Side. So long.
Do we get like 5 moons in Moon 2?
Yeah, I mean, Moon. I've heard there's been like theories trying to route out Moon 2, but it's just gonna be here forever. I think these moons are just too fast, even though we're not really getting many of them in Moon here.
Yeah.
The routing just works out really cleanly for these moons. We kind of just do a big lap around the Odyssey and then leave. And with this, Dylan is in the home stretch of the speedrun. I believe he only has Lunch 3, Mushroom 2, and then Darker Side left, and that's about it. So Dylan is in the home stretch here.
Duck having a little bit of trouble with getting the Podoboo up onto that higher level. That jump is just a little weird because the way that works is you go significantly higher if you're actively traveling up an upward slope, I'm pretty sure. So, and you need to be on a pretty specific area for that to happen.
Looks like Duck is taking this turn up a little bit safer.
Yeah, definitely can't blame anyone for that. That is turnip 3 is, or not turnip 3. That's turnip 2. Turnip 2 is annoying. Turnip 3 is even more annoying, but we don't have to deal with that.
Yeah. Nearing 500 moons there for Dylan, but we have to keep in mind that I believe 31 more moons are Toadette achievements that Dylan has to get, so he's actually a lot closer than you'd think. And we are back onto the Luncheon 3 portion. And we're going to see another kind of cool sub area here where we're going to see some elevator skips with this moon pipe here.
Aggron opting to lure the Torpedo over a little bit before breaking blocks. That's what you would have to do if you don't do the camera minute thing.
And
So
Dylan going for the
reference.
fastest strat here where he keeps the Podoboo alive on the upper platform so he can capture it after this moon. So he can get to the cannon pretty fast.
Duck having to wait a little on the 5th slot in Luncheon, but is perfectly fine. Yeah, Luncheon slots is tight. The spin through a radius, really, you have to really get as much out of it as you can. Looks like Duck is also going to be going for Volcano Cave. Nice.
Yeah.
You love to see it.
Beautiful.
Oh, yeah, Aggron absolutely getting juked out by this bunny here.
Yeah.
You can slow it down a little bit, but
Oh, Dylan choosing the wrong song there, unfortunately. That's just not the fun one.
It's faster.
No, that's just lame. It's just lame. Come on, Dylan. What are you doing?
surprised that torpedo hit from Aggro.
Yeah, it seemed a little bit shaky.
So lots of runners leaving or about to leave kingdoms right now. We got Duck heading into...
Oh, Duck head into dark side. No.
I was going to say, I was like,
Yeah.
I don't think she's in darker.
And with this, Dylan's going to be just about done with post game here. Just a small segment here left in luncheon, and then a little bit of mushroom movement, and then he's going to be on to darker side and to finish off this run.
Oh, yeah. Unfortunate death from Aggron there. I need to wait because I wasn't sure if it was the intentional death off the top of the tower. There we go. Nice.
It's cool to see Aggron do the triple jump variant of that jump, though.
Yeah, especially not off the railing either, so you really have to maximize your distance there and speed. Beautiful Crocs there from Dylan.
Very nice. I think
Yeah.
Krax is one of those moons that's it's extremely borderline. Some people do it, some people don't.
Yeah. And 2 more kingdoms left here in postgame for Dylan. Mushroom and Darker. Do we know how long Mushroom is in this category?
I think it's about 7 minutes. Definitely don't take my word for it.
I think this could be a sub 310 from Dylan then.
Nice.
Yeah, I think this has potential to be a sub 310, maybe. I think it's going to be a little bit close though.
Is that a moon clip from Zach? Hold. That is
Beautiful.
That is a moon clip.
Wow,
Doesn't get to
huge
see
moon
that
clip
one
right there,
before.
saved a lot of time.
That is hilarious. I have to say.
Saved a whole, like a 0.5 probably.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
no.
Oh, and you don't have Cappy, so
Yeah.
there's just
nothing
nothing
you
you
can
can do there at all. Simultaneous moon buy, nice. Love to see it.
do. Oh, Poison went from Duckable. Beautiful.
Cool.
That is, I'm pretty sure frame perfect, if not very close, to
Oh,
wipe off
yeah.
the Poison there. So that's a very good
Yeah, you
backup.
might that's one of those things that you might as well just go for because
Yeah.
you can it's some you can at least pause buffer it. Yeah, getting a few quick moons in very quick succession there because in Mushroom there happens to be a garden with multiple seeds next to each other. So, very easy moons there.
We're gonna see how's Dylan doing Gooba jump here. I think Dylan does a little bit weird. Yeah, Dylan does the fruit bounce. Yeah.
Oh. Wow, that's cool.
I refuse to believe that's easier.
For the swag points.
Those are some major swag points, I gotta say. Dylan might be winning the swag competition here.
I know Dylan is huge on trying to get more people to do that strat, but I just refuse to see how that's easier than the normal strat that we'll see these other runners doing here.
I don't know, I'm kind of a fan. Might have to try it out.
And with that, Dylan is going to be going into Toadette achievements for the last moons in the game, or in the kingdom. Oh, we're Dylan doing rock, paper, scissors here with Mario. Every time Mario does one of these moon grab animations, he either puts up rock, paper, or scissors. Paper. Oh, winning that one. Huge, huge.
Nice.
1-1 so far.
But yeah, not really too much going on here. Zach going into Mushroom here in a minute. Dylan, I think, is going to do rock, paper, scissors for all 31 of these moves.
Way too invested in this rock, paper, scissors competition.
All right, and it looks like Duck is going to be taking another. Looks like Duck is going to be taking another try at the sign jump as well. Oh, that's another thing that can happen. Yeah, you need to, like, either mash or just be really precise with the A press. But even if you do that, it can definitely happen where the jump just doesn't come out, or the long jump, I mean.
We're seeing Zach and Mushroom as well here. Just about to finish up his run too. Him and Dylan aren't too far apart at all. Looks like Dylan and Zach are very close here going into Darker. Well, not Darker side death, and this still could be a lead change.
Don't prophesize that too early.
But I mean, I'm just saying it could happen. Oh, Zach forgot to go to Moon 2.
Oh no.
Oh, that's brutal. Agron catching that.
We're going back.
Dylan's still doing rock, paper, scissors here. Let's see, does he win this one? Nope.
And yeah. I was gonna say Duck starting the bird cycle, but I don't believe it started yet.
Yeah, it's aftershock. Oh my god. Oh, I thought that was almost gonna be a death from Duck. And with that, Dylan is going into Darker Side here to finish off the run. The final kingdom in the run. Make your break here. And it does look like he is on a sub 310 pace, so this is kind of big.
For sure. Again, no pressure. going to be putting on some more music for Toad here. You know, Mario always has the bangers. And Zach heading into Mushroom as well, so we're going to be seeing some more Toadette action going on. It's nice that the Toadette is staggered here. Like, it wouldn't be very good if we had all 4 doing it at the same time.
Yeah. Beautiful pipe suck there by Dylan. That shot is actually more difficult than you think.
So we have a $55 donation from Go1 to Free Attack saying, "Let's go speedrun case."
Huge. Thank you for that donation. Once again, all your donations are going to support Urbanerds, so greatly appreciated. This is beautiful darker side movement from Dylan so far.
For sure.
Ooh, 1 HP. Not great. I didn't see what he took damage to originally for that first hit. And then he's going to be going for some faster movement here on the upright section to skip some of these cycles.
Yeah, narrowly avoiding the Burbo.
Yes.
I always forget their name. Yeah, narrowly avoiding the Burbos with 1 health.
And then getting that health and going up top for this upward skip.
Yeah, a bit frightening there, but he's completely chilling.
And then does anybody know if Dylan does the strat coming up here after this bit?
Yes, I think.
Okay, well, we're going to be seeing something known as a darker side FRS. If you are a casual Odyssey player, you would know that there is a flower road you're supposed to take here after this bit and kind of just walk on it up until the next section. But Dylan is going to be trying to skip that flower road here with Yoshi, doing some tongues with Yoshi to get fast movement. Big Yoshi jump over onto the small block, and then some platforming on these tiny stairs here into a long jump over the gap. Beautiful so far, but it is not over yet. There is still 1 more gap he has to traverse with a big triple jump here into a lava boost to get the height needed. And beautiful.
Very nice. Not much can be said about that. That is just an extremely involved trick. It's a miracle that that's even possible.
Beautiful triple jump there to get over to glide on a little bit faster. And now this bit is known as a glide on skip. He is going to be going into, I guess, the second one he opts for, but this second wing gust here to get enough height to traverse over all of these sections here. You're going to be seeing that we're going to be passing over here.
Yeah, going to be turning the camera up a little bit so he knows to shake right at the beginning of that wind gust, which gives you an absurd amount of height for some reason.
Yeah, you just get a bunch of height with glide on here, and you could skip this entire second half of Darker essentially.
That's going to be similar to Moon Skip. We're just breezing by a whole section.
And final little bit here, final trick we're going to be seeing here. We're going to be seeing a U-skip here from Dylan, I'm assuming, hopefully.
You might be wondering, why is it called U-skip? What could that be possibly be referring to? Well, you know, the letter, of course.
Now all he has left is that final tower climb here out of the pipe. Some precise frog movement here just to get the minimum amount of height possible here, not just hovering in the air a bunch.
Very suspenseful ending to this category. Just one final climb. Gotta love it.
And a couple of cap bounces up this pole.
Fappy tries to tell you a nice story.
And with that, that is time from Dylan. 3:08:17. Huge.
That is solid, I have to say.
That is
a really good sign.
That's only 3 minutes off his PB or less, so that's a very good showing from Dylan.
Maybe the best darker side in a marathon ever?
Probably, yeah. I would say that's probably the best darker side in a marathon period. That is a very, very good showing from Dylan. That post game was incredible up until that loss too. And Zach should be going on to darker side here in a minute in Toadette currently.
Yeah, and we're seeing on Dylan's screen Mario is no longer visible because darker side unlocks the invisibility suit.
Is that a clip from Deckable? Nope.
Oh, almost.
That is the real reward for dark side. You don't have to look at Mario anymore.
Yeah. But yeah, all our runners here kind of in the final stretch here. Agron about to go into Toadette, and Zach just finishing up Toadette here, going into darker side. Not too much to say during this portion. Toadette's just a lot of mashing.
We got the brief double Toadette action, so if you're looking to play 2 games of rock, paper, scissors at once, now's your chance. You could, I mean, I guess you could do it with any moon, but it's just a good opportunity.
Well, Deckable missing that jump onto the roof there.
That was strange. That was really narrow. I thought for sure that was making it.
Okay, Zach going into darker side here. Let's see if we can get another first try here.
And we got moon dump number 2. You know it. Yeah, there we go. Okay.
There are a couple of strats in darker that didn't really show off, so I'm curious to see if Zach will do those.
Yeah, particularly darker FRS. That's the big one. That one can go south very fast. You could lose a whole lot of time to that if you just kind of miss it once and then kind of get a little bit tilted. That was a very clean movement for the Frogs from Zach there. Oh, Zach missing the pipe flick, unfortunately. Like I said, very difficult strat.
Duck's just going to be getting this Notes Moon and potentially Krauts, and then heading into Mushroom as well.
Yeah, like I said, all our runners are in the final stretch here.
We're going to be really getting into the end.
No, Zach not going for the upper skips here.
Yeah, fair enough.
But going for the skip here with the uproot. And then going into the Yoshi section here, and then potentially darker FRS. We'll see if he goes for it. I'm assuming he can go with all the other big strats he's done this run.
I'm not exactly sure what the time difference is between going on top and going through, because I've definitely seen people do both, but...
I think going through the water section might actually be a little bit faster. It just might be a lot tighter and more difficult. I think the water section is a little bit faster.
Yeah, rolling across the top is definitely very respectable, because there's nothing you need to worry about there.
And it looks like Zach is going for darker FRS here. Hopefully he can get it first try. Very good vector Yoshi jump there. Good first half so far. One more big triple jump here. Beautiful.
Nice.
Agron also escaping to that hell, making
Yeah.
his way to darker side.
Zach doing glide on skip right now. Does, like we said, skip the last chunk of darker side here.
And we got some suspenseful action right here. A Toad Moon, a cutscene, glide on, and a still image. All right, and Zach closing in on the end here, taking the thank you wire. Looking like it's gonna be somewhere in the.
Spin through Yusuf coming up right here. Beautiful.
Let's go. Crowd went insane for that one. Yeah.
I think after that, Zach may have won the swag competition.
For anyone curious, he did make it very public that I think Autumn paid him $20 to do that skip, and in practice, earlier in the practice room, he did that skip 100 times in a row without fail.
I mean, that's $20 right there. Wow. Can't blame him.
Beautiful.
And that is a 3:15.55 from Zach. Let's go.
And with that, we have two more runners left, Agron and Darker Side here, and Decibel about to go into Toadette.
Yeah, for the uninitiated, spin through U-skip is a trick that saves about like 0.2 seconds over normal U-skip and is significantly riskier, but you know, gotta get that bag.
Agron's struggling with Darker Side a little bit here, getting through this lava bubble section. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's, yeah, if you, because those are just small little areas, and you need like a decent amount of momentum to actually make it to the next one.
Yeah, finally got through there though.
That's one of the rare places where the intended difficulty level of the game casually there pretty much matches the difficulty of the speedrun. Yeah, not much left here at all.
Yeah.
Agron taking the elevator ride up while Duckable progresses through Toadette. And yeah, let's see if he goes for it.
No. Darker Side FRS here from Agron.
Yeah,
Very
I mean,
valid.
can't knock that at all. I think it only saves like 10.
Yeah, I think it's
Which-
like 7 or 8, yeah.
Something, yeah.
Over just walking on this flower road.
Which again, isn't it like an insignificant amount of time, but Darker FRS is very hard. That Yoshi tongue momentum is something, it's a skill that's like very specific to this. You don't really need to do that anywhere. Maybe in mushrooms or some things, but generally you don't really need to do that anywhere else in the game. So
Yeah, I mean, it's used in Almonds and Mushroom 1 a little bit, but even
Right.
then, you don't really need to keep your momentum all the way through for anything. It just helps you speed up the movement a little bit.
yeah, there it's really important that you get your momentum as much as you can. Yeah. Don't for us.
And Aggron going for the Ion Skip here. I think, is that, I don't think that's enough height. Is it? It might be. No, he's
Yeah, gonna be taking
Yeah.
another one just to be safe.
There we go.
Smart play. And thrilling gameplay right now. We got
Yeah.
wonderful
Aggron-
weather we're having.
Yeah, Aggron about to finish up Darker Side here with this Glide on Skip, and then Duckable about to go in.
I don't believe we're going to be seeing any more spin throw U skips, but I could be proven wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. The crowd goes wild anyways.
You know it. Hardest trick on the run.
Yippee!
That was a textbook yippee. That sounded like exactly like the... Yeah, that was good.
Very impressive.
And with that, Aggron's about to finish up his run here. Looks like to be a 320. If he could grab the pole. Oh, that was a little bit scary. Delucid! Don't do it. GG.
Nice.
320-32. And with that, Duckable's going to be going into Darker Side now.
Oh, perfect timing. We're at,
Yeah.
We're done toe-to.
Yep. Final runner going into Darker Side here. Looks to still be a solid sub 330 pace for Duckable.
Yeah, 2,000 moons in total collected tonight. That's a lot of moons. Across all 4 players.
More than that, because you get the extra 3 in Darker Side.
Oh, true. 2012. I think this is probably the highest you jump, like, ever. Has to be, right? It's just... Frog combined with the moon gravity. That was kind of crazy.
Oh, bonk.
Thankfully not taking another damage there. Just getting
Yeah.
that spin throw to capture just in time.
As long as you're not on 1 HP here in Darker, you're typically in a good spot.
Yeah, for sure. Ooh, nice. Wasn't entirely sure if that was going to work, but that was clean. Nice thing here is most of the time you can at least just wait for the next cycle if something goes wrong.
Yeah. And then Duckable climbing up with Yoshi here. Duckable opting to take the flower road. Nice and safe call here to end off the race.
As the run concludes here, just want to give a big shout out to all the people that have routed this category, and Odyssey in general, because this is just insane. I mean,
even in the past year, because we also had this at Summer Pace last year, Summer Pace 2023. You can see all the routing changes and movement changes in the past year. If you compare it to that race that we had at Summer Pace last year, it was so much has changed in this category. This category is still like ever evolving.
Yeah, lots of dedication. We'll be seeing one last glide on skip here.
Oh, beautiful! That is so much height.
Yeah, wow.
I think that might be
Very
like
nice.
the maximum amount of height you can get there. That was beautiful.
We are gonna be taking glide on for one last adventure.
Yeah, more than enough height.
Yeah, that was big margin there.
And Duckable coming up to you, Skip here. Final trick of the run. Yeah!
Oh man, we got some Wii Sports golf noises from the crowd here.
Final climb here for Duckable. Looks to be, I think a low 327 from Duck here. Maybe a 326.
Probably 326.
Yeah. GG.
GG. And that is going to conclude the four-way Darker race. We got 308.17 from Dylan, 315.55 from Zach, 320.32 from Agron, and 326.54 from Duck. Such a cool showcase.
Yeah.
Very simple goal, just collect 500 moons and get to Darker. That's all it is, but it's just so complicated. We didn't even like go past the tip of the iceberg on just how much goes into this category and how much you need to keep track of. So.
And with that, that is going to be it for Odyssey tonight. But if you do love Mario Odyssey, we will have more tomorrow at 11 a.m. 9 hours of a Super Mario Odyssey live time attack with a bunch of our best runners that we have all competing for a cash prize here live at Summer Pace 2024. But yeah, that's all for us tonight. I've been Cheese J, and you guys want to say anything?
I'm Cinefusic.
I've been thank you so much for having me.
All our Twitters
Thanks.
are on the screen here at the bottom. Follow them.
Yeah.
That's a bit. Donate to Urban Arts.
Donate to Urban Arts. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Have a good night.